This is the Wait For It podcast.
Yo, Wait For It podcast nation. Welcome to the August edition of What Did I Miss? I'm your co-host, Phil Barrera, a.k.a. Phil the Filipino.
And I'm your co-host, Mr. Eric.
You wanted to switch it up?
Hold on, I'm lightheaded.
We did it, and you should expect nothing less than absolute chaos for this episode of the Wait For It podcast. What did I miss? And we brought half of the Weight Watchers along for the ride.
That's true. Yeah, they'll be watching themselves maybe later tonight if they choose to. One of the perks of being a Weight Watcher, a part of our Patreon. So we'll tell you about that a little bit later. But yeah, welcome to the August edition of What Did I Miss? It is our monthly bonus episode where we kick back with some friends, talk about some pop culture stories that you may have missed out on in the previous month, and play a game. So very excited to hang out with you guys this month and bring in two guests. Of course, last month Eric and I went no guests, so it was a pretty short episode, but this one we are very excited to have the two gentlemen that we have joining us here today. First, let's bring in who is returning, who's been on a couple times this year and has also released quite a few episodes lately, and it's been great to listen to The World Is My Burrito. So Kory, how are you doing tonight? And thanks for hanging out.
I am doing wonderful. Thanks for the re-invite. The sequel for July. It's great to be back. I've finally gotten the groove recently. There's enough stuff to talk about and people to talk to. A lot of the episodes that I wanted to do earlier
like
this
the
year.
Ice Age spinoff, the Alien show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Ice Age, the fifth insert in the Ice Age franchise, I think.
Eric, before he came in, I told him it would have been really hilarious if he came in and he was just on a bike, but on the Riverside app, but like while biking. Like in the middle of the forest.
I wouldn't expect anything less, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, so one time in the future, Kory, you will have to join us via, again, some trail in the middle of Florida.
I'll do it.
But another guest returning, he was here on the Wait For It podcast for What Did I Miss last year, the leader of said Shortbox Nation, Badr, and one half of the amazing team at the JPU. Badr, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you. Like I said, we tried to make this happen last month, but we were just too damn busy, so I'm happy that you're here tonight.
Hey, yo, check it out, motherfucker. I'm Tupac.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil, for that amazing intro. It's a pleasure to not only be on the Wait For It podcast again, but to also be counted among the fellow Weight Watchers, which I learned today is what you call your patrons, which I think is the best name for a Patreon community ever.
Yeah, and also a new perk, BJ Glizzies, coming pretty soon.
If you mail me a glizzy from BJ, you can keep it. That's a perk that I think I'll skip.
No, it's part of it. Nope, it's part of the.
Just take my money.
It's part of the merch package now. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. It is yours. But yeah, very excited to be hanging out with everybody here this evening. If this is the first time you're listening to this particular podcast, well, you picked a hell of an episode to join, because this is pretty carefree and just meant to be a whole lot of fun, which is what we are going to do here tonight. But before we get into it, Badr, I do want to give you the opportunity, because I mean, Eric and I have talked about it here in the last few weeks in terms of podcast camp. It was an incredible success. The feedback that we have gotten from people that had attended was fantastic. So please, for anybody, I just want to hear from you, like, what's it been like just kind of basking in the the afterglow of podcast camp, putting it all together, and like, how are you feeling now, and what have you heard as far as feedback?
I feel like I am just now relaxing after that event. I mean, the build up to the event, the planning for the event. I mean, it was the first of its kind, the Jack's Podcast Camp. It was a brand new event that we threw, and it will for sure be a returning event based on the feedback we got, the outpouring support, the amount of people that showed up. I mean, it was very successful. So happy that all of the hard work that went on behind the scenes paid off the day of. And Phil, Eric, I got to give you guys huge props on helping out with the event. You guys, did you guys host a panel, or were you a part of a panel? Part of a panel, right?
Yes, part of one.
Part of a panel, and then you guys hosted the Q&A.
Yeah.
That's right. Which I will absolutely admit was a big reason why I decided to finally pull the trigger and become a Weight Watcher. Because I was like, you know what? I'm always talking about supporting podcasters, and what other podcasts should I support than you two that are always working so goddamn hard? I mean, you guys know as well as I have. There have been a lot of podcasters that have come out to our events that aren't around the next day or aren't still podcasting now. And I think you guys are a testament to.
I'm right here.
Like you mean Kory?
You mean like our friend Kory, who opted out of the podcast camp, by the way.
No. Kory would have absolutely been there had he still been in Jack. Hell, I mean, Kory's actually driven from Tampa to I think one of our last events. So Kory is an exception. He's a great guy. Phil and Eric, you guys, I am so impressed by how long you guys have kept the Wait For It podcast going and growing. Me and Blythe like to say you guys are like our number one example of like, hey, this is what you should do as podcasters, so
Yeah, we're coming for that Folio Award.
That's right.
Look,
that's right. Little do you know, we're just lurking in the shadows.
Have it, man. I don't go as nearly as hard as I campaigning for the best of
we
award.
Forget
it's
about
like,
it every year, and then it's like vote for your, and then by that time we're like, well, it's too late to stuff the ballot box.
They're like the last day is a week from now, and you're like, shit.
We always forget about it.
I think I just got a little disillusioned. I was like, oh, wait, I think Larry's Giant sub won one year. And I was like, wait a minute, they're not even vetting this shit. It's just, anyways. Yeah, you guys are great in my eyes. So no award needed.
Well, you did give us awards, actually. Mine's back.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Yeah,
mine's over there.
Actually, I'm going to need those awards back because we need to recycle
for the new
them.
for the 2025 volunteer.
Hey, look, we don't make no money off of Jack's podcast.
Say, wait for it,
right?
podcast on it. You can't give it.
Is this gonna
Scratch
be
it out with a quarter.
Yeah, no.
Is this gonna be like a fantasy football league where we somebody holds a trophy for a year and you just recycle that around?
What if I
could
started
work.
picking at it like this is a sticker?
Look,
is this gonna be like the Stanley Cup where that you just add just put 2025s right here? We give
There's a reason why all of the events for Jack's Podcast United is free. All right, we struggling out here. All right, we got to make ends meet. See, that dog even understands. He feel me. He's like, you're right. Butter's great.
Brenda's home and Mabel is letting me know.
But again, podcast camp was great, and I can't wait for next year to come back around. So if you missed it this year,
Phil, I'm sorry, Phil, you won't even have to wait for another event because in true Badr fashion, it's already off to the next event where we're doing the Jack's Podathon in December. It'll be the third year that we're throwing this event. We're hoping to make it bigger and better. You guys know us. We're always looking to improve our events. So if you're listening right now and you're an aspiring or even a veteran podcaster that's in the Northeast Florida area, or if you don't mind driving to Northeast Florida, Jacksonville specifically, check out jackspodcastersunited.com. That's where we, post our events. We're doing another event on December. I want to say it's December 10th. It's like the second Wednesday in December. But Jack's Podathon, it's coming this year. Be on the lookout.
There you go, Kory.
Yeah, Kory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
save up.
So to continue talking up the
gas
JPU
money.
thing, yeah, didn't y'all have people from Orlando?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Jack's Podcast Camp, I want to say we had I wish I knew their name on the spot right now, but we had a podcast duo, a wife and husband and wife duo, drive from Atlanta just for Jack's Podcast Camp, and they drove back that same night, which,
that's a crazy drive.
Respect to them.
Yeah.
We've had folks we've got Mr. Nuke, Mr. Whiskey from Savannah. He always drives down from Savannah to attend the event. So we got some folks that are willing to travel to talk podcasting, which I think speaks to the, podcasters, man. We love hanging out and talking with our people.
Yeah, speaks to the value of that networking and that community. So,
right.
as it continues to grow. So it's been fantastic. But Eric, I think it is time for it to return. If I recall correctly, obviously we didn't do it last month. It was just the two of us. At one point, we did Dice because it was completely this episode was completely hacked by our guests.
Oh yes,
we have to bring in
Yes.
the return of your favorite part of the episode.
One of the greatest resources to us brokey podcasters.
Gotta love it.
out there.
I use this at what's the name? Electric Dough the other day to pick a pizza. So I use this website all the time.
Okay.
Oh my
Phil,
God.
You are like an evangelist for this website.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, for sure. Now, wheels are our thing, and especially on this episode. So if you don't know the drill, I'm going to break it down right now. Badr, Kory, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then all of us are going to try it say the same thing at the same time. Spin that wheel. So in that cadence, 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. The last time we did do it, it did go very well. So I can only imagine.
I don't know.
I've
Wasn't
jinxed
that
it
Aaron?
now.
I don't think so. Aaron was the.
Oh, maybe not. No. Has it ever gone well? That's the real question.
Once.
One time. Let's go for 2. We're going to count down. 3, 2, 1.
Spin
that
wheel. That was
There's always got to be one.
win. It's a win.
There's always got to be one.
All right, we got
Oh, shit.
Kory up first.
Straight off the bat.
Look at
Really
that.
excited.
Okay.
All right,
So-
Kory, what did we miss in August?
Yeah, and July because it's a two-parter.
Oh shit!
They're connected though. So I know that everyone here is an avid listener of the Short Box podcast.
Hey,
and I'm
I like
sure
that show.
everyone who's listening is an avid listener. But in beginning of June, Badr released an episode interviewing IDW comic editor Jake Williams to talk about the upcoming Godzilla series of the Kaisei era, which is an officially licensed canon. I don't know what the word canon means to Toho, but sure, we'll just say that it's canonical. But at the very end of June and July, and then beginning of August, we got issue 1 of Godzilla and issue 1 of Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. So first entries into this new era. I don't know how many comics we're getting total. I have the IDW comic list for the rest of the year. And it looks like there's going to be, I think, 6 of Godzilla, maybe 5 of Dead Zone. And I don't know how many of Starship, but at least 2. So it's really cool. It's exciting. They're chunky. They're 32 pages. I think the average comic is 24 or maybe fewer. So they're thick. They're, I think, $5 each, which is pretty good for a 32-page comic. I want to say there's no ads up until the very end, just kind of letting you know what's to come. So it's a great start to a new era. It's big Godzilla news. It is fun to have something. If you are in a comic shop right now, we are living in an extremely strange time because today I picked up VR Troopers and Speed Racer from the comic shop.
Dude,
And-
it's like no property, no show, no a franchise from your childhood, and I'm specifically talking to like folks our age, right? Like 90s babies. None of that shit is safe from the comics. It more than likely, I mean, to Kory's point, there is a SWAT Cats comic series that was announced. There is a what was that show? Cowboys of Moo Mesa. You guys remember that show? I might have fucked up the name.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
getting a
I
comic
do.
series. Yeah, it's insane the time we're living in.
Yeah, you can go buy Gotcha Man right now. They're deep into that. Yeah, it's wild. But the Godzilla stuff's really cool. The artists are cool. I got to meet one of the cover artists at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. He was directly across from Ivan. So it was like my 3rd or 4th time talking to Ivan. I turn around and just happen to see Godzilla covers behind me. It's like, oh shit, what's this guy doing? Yeah, so he was one of the several cover artists. But no, it is, I think that's one of the coolest things. It's something that's tangible that you can go out and buy right now. There are a couple of things I'll bring up later that's less tangible, less timed, but right now is a good time to, if you want to read something that's really interesting, an interesting take on the Godzilla franchise, on kaiju, because it isn't strictly Godzilla, go grab the Godzilla #1 and Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone #1. But I am most looking forward to Starship Godzilla, because I don't know what they're going to do. And I want that insanity in my life.
Very apropos topic for Captain Kaiju there.
Yeah, so for the uneducated of us, me and Eric, so what is the rundown of Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone? Because I did look it up, and it's something that I'm not super familiar with. So like, what's happening?
So it's the Dead Zone. I don't think they've quite explained. They visualize what the Dead Zone is in that issue. But the Dead Zone is an area where kaiju are more frequent to attack. There are a lot of mutated people in the area, or imagine living in a radioactive zone. It's not strictly that everyone's there dying of radiation, because this Godzilla isn't radioactive, but dead zones are all over the world, and the people in there are affected by something to some degree. So it's gonna look like crud. The people are gonna look kind of weird. The main thing of the dead zone is that one of the people there is part kaiju. It's not really a spoiler because it's on issue, I think, like cover A of issue number 1. But this is running concurrent. I think it's not confirmed, but I think based on the Godzilla issue 1 and Dead Zone issue 1 that we have concurrent storylines that will intersect, because they're issue 1, they talk about the dead zones. It's clearly the same time period. And issue 2, you know, it completely ignores all the stuff that happened in issue 1. But it's like the story leads me to believe that these two things have to converge. But yeah, it's the dead zone specifically is a shitty area. There is still regular world. Badr, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, to add to what Kory said, just for the uninitiated, the whole Kaisei era initiative that's being published by IDW is like an umbrella term for like this series of books, and Kory's already done a great job of explaining like each one. You got the mainline Godzilla story, you got Godzilla Dead Zone, and then Godzilla Lost in Space, and they're like just different flavors, different takes on like certain genre books. Like the mainline Godzilla book follows a superhero team who is tasked and tracking down Godzilla and you know, killing kaijus and things like that. And it follows a central character that basically gets like the powers of Godzilla. He gets the Kaisei energy, which they're dubbing the same. They call it Kaisei. It's the same energy that Godzilla has, for lack of better terms. And then Dead Zone is more like a horror kind of a feel to it, / like post-apocalyptic, you know, genre. So if you're into that type of stuff, you know, that'd be the series. And Starship Godzilla follows a ragtag team, so think like Guardians of the Galaxy. In space, their ship is Mechagodzilla, which I think is so badass. And they get into like space hijinks with like space kaijus. So, you know, they're exploring like these different corners of this universe. To Kory's point, it's like a shared universe, but there's like they're just tackling different corners. You got space, you got like the mainline stuff, and then you got like the dead zone area of things like that. So even if you don't know much about Godzilla, I think all of the first issues do a really good job of like explaining what the deal is. Very good jumping on points. And IDW, speaking to the editor, they're very excited about this. They've worked really closely with Toho, and the fact that Toho is like, hell yeah, do what you guys do. You know, like, you got our blessings. It's official. I think it's a huge deal for them to have like a continuing series like this. You know, like this built-in world. I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, Eric, you know, as somebody who has like, you know, a small affinity to Godzillas, I have like 5 Godzillas within. Look at this little sleepy one. I don't have my Ducky Godzilla. Eric, I think I may have found my way into into picking up some comics finally.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I might not be doing that, but hey, I really am enjoying Kaiju number 8 season 2. So for what that's worth, that's
I
a
was
change.
gonna say,
when I saw the cover for the Dead Zone, I was like, man, it does remind me of Kaiju number 8.
All I heard was Kory say that someone's a kaiju. I was like, oh yeah, I watched that show. Yeah, I know that.
yeah, it's very shonen, and to Badr's point, the Godzilla, the self-titled Godzilla, is very shonen. And the main character is definitely the dude from Kaiju number 8, but if he were 20 years younger.
I was going to say also going through a midlife crisis.
Not yet.
That'd be a little bit on the nose.
Going through a different kind of crisis.
Yeah, but I think Kory mentioned, like, you know, how canon is stuff. Like, that's been the thing that's always like stopped me from like exploring Godzilla outside of like just the movie medium. Honestly, that's been my biggest
I think you just don't like Godzilla.
I love Godzilla -1. That's like one of my favorite movies. Love that movie.
But you don't like the fun ones.
The Americanized ones, because they're not that fun.
They're so much fun.
They're really not.
Okay, so
Kong
lest you
used
forget,
a little monkey as a bat.
a big monkey took a little monkey.
I hear what you're saying. I can watch those clips and be like, well, that was cool.
A big monkey
versus
threw a rock
watching
really
a
far.
2.5-hour movie about the conflict itself, which is the least interesting thing about it. Come on now.
Can I say that really quick? I feel like there's been a trend lately of, especially AMC, but I think just movie theaters in general, where they're re-releasing a lot of like movies back in theaters. Like right now, we're recording Tuesday, August 26th. I think the TMNT movie, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, has been is in theaters right now. They re-release in theaters.
We're seeing Jaws
and I guess
this
yes. So Jaws is another one.
Oh, dang.
Shin Godzilla is back in theaters. I don't know if it's already passed, but I have been wanting to watch Shin Godzilla for a while. So I think it's a cool way of being like, oh, I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while. I missed it in theaters when it came out, or I just couldn't go watch it in theaters. Now I have the opportunity to like get that movie going experience for like an old new movie. I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Kory's going to tell you that we didn't like Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's waiting. It doesn't really help the defense of the I don't like Godzilla thing, except there's really not a lot of Godzilla in there. There's just a lot of conference rooms, so enjoy that.
And I've gotten that talk from Kory as well. I think when we recorded our -1 episode, he told me all about it.
Yeah, I think going in with the right expectations is the right thing to do. There are going to be some really cool scenes to see on the big screen, so like I definitely see the appeal.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so I think some of those movies, it's a great opportunity to go back in there and maybe watch it for the first time. It's also great for people that have seen the movie to see it again on the big screen if they missed it. Like I saw Revenge of the Sith earlier this year at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Great
wanted
time.
to go to that.
Great time. They're re-releasing the Spider-Man, the Raimi Spider-Man films in a couple weeks.
In theaters earlier this year. Like,
we
what a
did.
time.
That was so fucking good. So there's some credence there. Like getting these older movies coming to theaters is great for everybody, both new and returning. But Kory, what were you going to talk about Shin Godzilla? I'll give you the floor for
it's
2 minutes.
super
max.
quick. Yeah, I'm not going to go into much other than I think it's the 31st. AMC is supposed to be releasing the Shin Godzilla Ortho, which is the black and white version. And I've never seen it in black and white. I think the Blu-ray I have, I want to say it's the Japanese edition, and they hadn't even made the black and white version yet. So I have never seen it. So I'm really hyped to go see that because I wanted to support Sunray since we have them now. It's Shin Godzilla's at Sunray.
Stole them.
Took it from you.
God damn right they did.
But
I'm happy for you.
Hey, yo, them glizzies, them Sunray glizzies, I gotta tell you, just as good as the day I last saw them.
It's the BJ glizzy.
I will mention, since we're talking about Shin Godzilla, I'll fit this one in because there was a lot of stuff in August. Like, Phil, I'm going through the Discord roundup for later, and I'm going to have to cut there's too much. I'm going to have to filter through this. So I'll throw this in here because we're talking about it. If you don't happen to see Shin Godzilla in theaters, it is coming to HBO Max alongside a ton of anime classics from Your Name to Perfect Blue. Starting in September, I think throughout the year, going into next year, there's going to be a ton of releases. I don't know exactly when Shin Godzilla is releasing off the top of my head, but it is coming to HBO Max sooner than later. So there you go.
Pretty cool.
There you go. Well, I'm pretty happy. We talked a lot about Godzilla, so that's a good way to start the episode. But Eric,
Let's
bring it back.
That MFing wheel.
Okay. You guys know the drill. Let's go ahead and count it down.
I'm gonna behave. All right, I'm coming.
We're
with
gonna
my
do
A
a
game.
3, a 2, a 1.
Spin!
Glizzy! Wheel!
Who said glizzy? Come on, kids.
Could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody. Oh my god.
Damn.
All right.
All
There
right.
he
Invited
is.
the biggest blabbermouth, and I have to be patient and wait my turn.
Eric, you are up. What did we miss in the
Oh
month of
my
August?
god. There is so much to talk about. I'm going to go with the one that I'm just probably the most passionate about, as is everybody, because it doesn't matter that this movie has been out for long enough where we should have moved past it. It doesn't matter that the music is catchy and it's just topping the charts. You already know it, Phil. We're going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, and we're going to just talk about the state of, I think, international and maybe animated films in general, because just this past weekend, not only did K-pop Demon Hunters enter theaters as a sing-along, mind you, after taking the world by storm on Netflix. In addition to that, a little film called Ne Zha 2 actually released as well, distributed by A24 in English dub, to a little bit of fanfare as well. A movie that, if you did not know, a Chinese animated film that is in the top 5 highest grossing films ever. Not just the highest animated grossing films in period. Avengers Endgame, Titanic, Avatar. You got to put this film up there with it. Now, while a lot of those sales have obviously been from the Chinese market, these two movies in particular, coming back to theaters, I watched them as a double feature on this past Sunday from recording, and I couldn't help but just feel a lot of the love for just something different here in the States. Like when we talk about animated films and the ones you typically go to, you'll think about the Minion craze the last year. Like when Rise of Gru came out, people dressed up as minions. Like that's not really that serious. When we're talking about like actual animated films with some substance, really, K-pop Demon Hunter surprised everybody, I think. And Ne Zha 2 was such a stark difference, a little bit in tone, but also in animation from the first one, in a very positive way. So I wanted to bring this up because K-pop Demon Hunter specifically led with an $18 million debut. Again, it came out month ago, little over a month ago, almost 2 months ago now, and it topped the box office when it released. Now, it was going up against some weak competition. Weapons was in like its third weekend, but it's still very impressive nonetheless. And again, with Ne Zha 2 getting a little bit more buzz and a little bit more attention with that English dub, I'm just very curious what everybody feels when it comes to not just these properties, if you've seen them, but more so the state of like animated films or some of these international films that are starting to make rounds a little bit more. They're starting to come to the limelight and they're starting to now make impacts into the American box office, which I think is a great thing. We have an episode called International Feature for a reason, right, Phil? I think just because of that was close to home for me, really got my mind going and thinking about just what the market looks like now for that genre.
Yeah, Badr, let's throw it to you first because we kind of want to get it. We know Kory has seen it. What do you know about this K-pop Demon Hunters craze? And also, are you familiar with Ne Zha 2? Again, a film that released in the Chinese market to big numbers early in the year, is just now hitting U.S. box offices as far as dub goes. Do you know anything about these two movies, or what's your familiarity with them?
No, but that's why I like you guys. You guys have your finger on the pulse when it comes to pop culture, mainstream pop culture, and especially like topics like these. So Ne Zha 2, I was looking for a movie to go watch in theaters like last week or two. And I kept seeing the poster for Ne Zha 2. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I also saw the poster for K-pop Demon Hunters. So it caught me by surprise. I don't know much about it, if I'm being fully honest. But this kind of relates to the topic that the news story that I've got. And Eric, I think you said it best. It is interesting to watch the fascination with, Korean pop culture and manga. Manhwa. I think they call it manhwa over there. Animated movies and everything like that get over here and have such a global appeal. And I wonder, I think you said it, you said something to the effect of, just wanting something different. Some of the biggest complaints that you'll hear about, American movies is that it feels like it's always a franchise or an unnecessary sequel or a rehash of some existing property. And I wonder if maybe that is appealing. Maybe that plays a role into the success of things like K-pop Demon Hunter or Ne Zha, is that it's something different. It's it's unique. It's a standalone thing. I think also just the massive popularity of K-pop music and anime. Since COVID. I mean, I think all those factors play a role here.
Yeah, that's a great call out because it goes against the grain of what people normally say. If you guys are on social media, if you're in movie circles, Phil, I know you hear this a lot. Original movies are dead. All we get is sequels, blah, 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 blah. But there is so much proof to show that there are original concepts that people gravitate towards. And while it is kind of true, because a lot of those sequels that shouldn't be making money are making money and the original films are not, there are times like this where it really goes the opposite direction, which I think is really neat. And Kory, I mean, I know you've definitely heard of this, but Badr, what else do you want to add? I
was also want to say that I feel like the technology for making animated movies is so like leagues ahead of like maybe what we grew up with, like the dawn of like animated movies, the early Pixar stuff and DreamWorks. It's like some of I think about, Across the Spider-Verse, how like just groundbreaking that movie was. It feels like now that's the norm of like, very colorful, very pristine animated movies is like the new norm. So I mean, I feel like animated movies are having like a huge renaissance, a new renaissance period for themselves.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I'll take Phil's line here. Take a shot if you're listening to the podcast, because you already know we're going to bring up one of a couple things. I mean, Phil's brought it up multiple times how Disney used to kind of just be the only thing that people looked at as the staple for animation.
Yeah.
And they're getting lapped. They're getting lapped by Sony Pictures. They're now getting lapped by an international company in China, the ones that do Ne Zha 2, and other DreamWorks. Take a shot, Puss in Boots. You already know I'm going to bring it up. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is genuinely a top 10 favorite film for me all time.
Damn.
I love that movie. I love that movie so fucking much. But it's so great from an animation standpoint specifically that, it's just so damn good. So, Kory, this is your chance to kind of hop in here. What has been your feeling with all the craze around either of these properties? And just, again, what the topic in general about how these original movies are kind of taking new life in the American culture.
The specifically for K-pop Demon Hunters, but it will spread to basically everything else. The thing that I feel like I've heard people say is K-pop Demon Hunters is everything that Disney wants to be. The stories that they're trying to tell, but they're so stuck on that kind of Pixar feel or the princess feel. It's like someone's mom has to die or there has to be like an ugly stepmother. And that's, I feel like a lot of the times why their new properties aren't doing well, it's because they're not writing very good stories. The music isn't that great. Or maybe the message isn't quite what they thought it should be. And K-pop Demon Hunters, I think we watched it twice in the same week. Brendan and I watched it, and then we were hanging out with neighbors, and it's like, things kind of calmed down, and it's like, hey, y'all want to watch K-pop Demon Hunters? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So we watched it with him. Yeah, K-pop slaps. I think at this point, everyone knows it. But those who have not been wanting to listen to K-pop, like I've been listening to K-pop for... what are we at? Probably like 11 or 12 years. Like I'm not super deep into it, but I at least know of music as far back as a decade ago. And it's been interesting to see it evolve in that time. So yeah, even longer than that, because Psy, good God, I don't know when Gangnam Style came out, but it was before that. But now more people know of it, and it is a pop sound that America doesn't quite have. So specifically for K-pop Demon Hunters, people are like, oh cool, it is an animated musical. Number one, it looks very much like Spider-Man, but toned down. Still very high quality, just not none of the sparkles that Spider-Man has, but very well animated, very artistically animated, not bubbly and round and soft looking like Disney has kind of gotten into. And then again, an amazing soundtrack. Like, it doesn't really matter how you feel about the movie, whether you like it or not. I know so many, I have some of the whitest friends I know that are like, yo, yeah, they just watch it in theaters with their girlfriend. And they're like, yeah, I've been listening to Your Idol on repeat. And so I literally have had to go out of my way to like start creating a playlist to be like, okay, let me just overload you with stuff, where this came from. On the topic of Ne Zha and foreign films in general, it's still kind of the same thing. Everyone has their own way of telling a story, and that's why every country has their own type of literature. Japanese have their own very weird type of drama. We like our generally action flicks. We like our princess stories. But when you have something like Ne Zha that makes its way over here, because I'm pretty sure I've seen Ne Zha. I need to rewatch it to be sure. But the first one looks very familiar, and 2019 sounds about right for how, like, when I think I might have seen that. But, animated films are coming from overseas. High quality animated films are coming from these overseas studios, and they're telling easy to consume stories, but in a different way than what we're familiar with. And with places like Netflix, trying to think of any kind of obscure streaming service. Hulu wouldn't air it. But you've got HBO will kind of pull in some weird stuff. Netflix is probably the biggest one that pulls in the strangest things. It's a lot easier to get kids into foreign content and then have them start saying, oh, you know, maybe I really like Chinese stuff. Maybe I like Korean stuff. And I think this is, speaking to Disney and Pixar, they have so many movies that are about various heritages. You know, you've got Moana, you've got Encanto. Even How to Train Your Dragon is, you know, Viking mythology. So you have all of these, you know, tales that are coming from that are based on, you know, other countries or other time periods, but they're not coming from those countries. It's not a story that's being told by the people who grew up in that. So it is, it's something that's fascinating. Like that's why I'm into a lot of Japanese stuff, Chinese, Korean.
I think Kory's nailing it. I think there's a certain novelty to it, as well as a sense of like, oh, this is how it's done over there, you know. And I don't mean that in a derogatory term, but like, oh, for example, I'm looking up Ne Zha is based on, and I probably am saying it wrong, I apologize, but it's based on a Chinese mythological story from like the 16th century. I just got done playing Black Myth Wukong, which is also based on one of the oldest mythologies ever, you know, Journey to the West, and it had me hooked for almost like the better part of this year. And I think there was a little bit of that novelty to it, where it's like, oh, this is based on a Chinese story that I'm familiar with, but I don't know to the extent. And then, you know, you do research and it's like, oh, this is like the biggest, this is their Odyssey, you know, like how we worship, you know, stories like the Odyssey. It is interesting to be like, oh, I'm being introduced to a different culture, to their stories. And I mean, it's fresh, right? Like it makes sense that something like an A24 or a Netflix would hop on this. Like they're looking for original content. And, you know, and I think in this day and age of the internet, like there is no boundaries for exporting creative things like this. It doesn't matter that, you know, it may come from China or Korea. It's like, you know, this is the internet. This is the age of entertainment. Like we'll consume it all if it's fresh.
I will say, and Eric, I'm sure you've come across this too, as far as the dub release of Ne Zha 2 did not perform very well. And I probably feel like it's because any of us that wanted to see it saw it back in February. I've told you that I'm not the biggest fan of the dub. So, you know, as far as audiences go, like it didn't seem they were super interested in this because a lot of people that they were probably trying to market to, like A24 is taking a stab at this, probably didn't see the first movie. So yeah, they probably should have released the first movie in dub in theaters earlier in this year. Maybe when the second movie came out in sub, and then done it this way. It was just a really interesting decision to all this time, 6 months later, release the dub when most of us have already seen it that are familiar with the franchise, you know?
Yeah, and I think the fact that it got the A24 release, they got Michelle Yeoh on board to voice a character that she didn't voice in the first one, and wasn't great. I'm going to be honest with you. It's unfortunate. But that being said, it's a big name attached to it. And the fact that it got that re-release, I mean, that movie isn't harmed from that release because it is so popular overseas. But I think the fact that it got that distribution is just a big vote of confidence. Now, of course, I'm sure A24 saw the numbers of Ne Zha 2 and they said, yeah, we got to try to take a shot at that. And I think you are right, Phil. Had they released the first one leading up to it, I think more people would have been interested to check it out. I do think it's a movie you could potentially see without seeing the first one. There is some context missing there, but it's so grand and epic that I think it could be done. But again, it wasn't really marketed in that way, and I think that had a lot to do with it. And then in the talks of K-pop Demon Hunters, one thing to clarify too, this was a Sony Pictures project, so it was an American
fumble.
It was an American project that was released about K-pop Demon Hunters, but everything about this film was true to the culture, true from the way that the characters were drawn to the music. All of that stuff was very authentic, and it's very scary to see an American company try to do something as ambitious as this. It normally goes left. So the fact that it went the complete opposite direction and was a success is amazing. The bummer, like you mentioned, Phil, Sony Pictures then sold it to Netflix, and now Netflix is reaping all the rewards.
Didn't believe in it. They didn't believe in it, and now Netflix has a hold of it, and you know, we're gonna get sequels.
Was it completed when Sony got rid of when they sold it? Was it like fully finished? Did Netflix have to
I'm not
complete anything
100%
themselves?
sure.
Okay.
I do believe
don't
that was
know.
the case, though.
Okay.
I think they were
was a
not
finished
sure.
product.
It was enough that they should have known what they had, in my opinion. But I
Yeah.
don't think they thought it would perform very well. And yeah, I mean, I'm
They're
not
too
going to
busy
pretend
not making Spider-Man Across the Spider, whatever the hell the next
to
one
be
is.
worried. I will be honest, though. I mean, we talked about K-pop Demon Hunter on this series for the podcast, and I was like, I don't have any interest in this,
Oh,
especially
yeah,
once
I
I
pointed it
saw
out a long time ago, like a few months
Yeah,
back.
I was like, oh, Sony Pictures, it looks good. You know, they're also doing a movie about a goat that plays basketball. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be interested in. I'm not going to be interested in every. And then they did like a dog Ren and Stimpy type, like gross comedy, dark comedy type
was
thing.
it that Gennady Tartakovsky
It,
thing?
That's right,
it
yeah,
was.
said that.
You would know what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
apparently
it
a
is
lot
that.
of dog buttholes, is what I heard. So I'm not gonna always love everything Sony Pictures does, but I think
Oh,
I was more
Fixed?
thrown off. Fixed.
Yeah.
I think I was more thrown off by the fact that, again, it wasn't like an international film and they were trying to just like capitalize on K-pop. And yes, the K-pop music in there is very catchy, but there's so much heart behind some of these songs and the message and just the delivery, everything about it. Top notch. Cannot recommend it enough.
Now
Phil,
then.
I don't know if I told you this. I did bump it up to a 4.5 out of 5.
Let's go.
Yeah, there's no reason.
A theater experience would have changed the whole
Everything.
The first
Oh, it
time
was
around.
so
like,
good.
Yeah. So
It was so good. I'm like this close to putting Ne Zha 2 at a 4.5. I don't know if I can give it to it yet, but K-pop Demon Hunters is my #1 movie of the year. Probably won't be defeated, and it is at a 4.5 out of 5. The only reason it doesn't get the 5 is Celine. It's specifically that just there's not enough growth with that character, Phil, for the scene towards the end of the film. So I don't think it'll ever get a 5 in my opinion, but a 4.5, I mean, is damn near perfect.
the last thing I'll say about as I bring up the wheel, the last thing I'll say before we spin is it's kind of crazy that Ne Zha doesn't have any type of presence over here because, and like we've talked about, I think when we did the episode on it, we don't see anything at conventions Ne Zha related, and that's how you get a really good pulse on what people are looking for. You go to a convention right now, all K-pop Demon Hunters. You can't turn a corner in Artist Alley without seeing K-pop Demon Hunter stuff. I've never once seen anything Ne Zha, which is a bummer because it does feel like, especially the first one, would appeal very much so to a specific younger demographic. But it's got no footprint, but we'll see. There'll be a Ne Zha 3, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Real
there will be.
quick before the spin, at Tampa Bay Comic-Con on day 2, there was a dude, bare minimum 6.5 feet tall, probably like 6'8", built like a basketball player, walking around in the final Roomy outfit.
Amazing.
So white
yeah.
top,
I think-
white crop
I
top,
wonder if that
white
was the
short
same person
skirt,
I saw at Animate, because I saw a very similar cosplay at
super
Animate.
tall dude.
Yeah. With the with the patterns.
Skirt, crop top.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you can't tell, Badr, we very much recommend it. So make it a movie night.
No, I am just sitting here absorbing, but you guys have kind of sold me on this Ne Zha. I think I'm going to check it out.
All right, we're
I want to
going
be a part
down-
of this global phenomenon.
If they re-released it in theaters, we're going down to Sunray. We'll watch it in Tampa. So
that'd be cool.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Weight Watchers Unite.
there you go.
That's right.
I'll bring the glizzies. All right, Eric.
I'll just bring my own. Beer.
All right, Eric, you're up.
All right, guys.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
You know, you know.
Is that my
what we
voice?
do.
Is that my voice? Is that my voice?
We're gonna count down 3, 2, 1.
Spin
that
wheel.
Wow, that was
you go.
really good.
We got the
I'm-
wheel part down.
We
Yeah.
did.
You guys
There
did
you
great
go.
there.
It's basically a 50-50.
Oh, I thought it was
It's a
going to stop
50
on
Oh!
Badr.
Oh!
You guys are going to get a double dose of me at the end, I guarantee it.
Hell yeah. Honestly, that does work because we usually do a didn't make the cut. So we might as well just have to go back
then
to
you can
back.
go back to back. Perfect.
There we go. It worked out.
Yeah, and also mine's kind of like relatively short. I might throw in my second one. We'll see how this goes. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys these two guests specifically, just kind of about the rebooting of the DCU, or the new DCU, essentially, you know, with James Gunn taking the helm. And I want to get your thoughts on Superman. We'll do that in a moment. But James Gunn has addressed Margot Robbie's place in the new DCU, and also another character he would like to bring in. He was quoted as pretty short quote, but he said that'll be revealed down the line in terms of Margot Robbie's involvement. But then he also went on to say, I definitely am always looking for a place to put Bloodsport and figuring that out, of course, referring to Idris Elba from the Suicide Squad released a couple of years ago. So first question, before we get to just kind of the DCU overall and also Superman, are there any other characters from any of the DCEU movies that you would like to see return? He has said he's going to bring Blue Beetle in, the same actor whose name is escaping me right now. And I watched that movie last year. It's not bad. It's I wouldn't have seen it in theaters, but it's pretty enjoyable in terms of by itself, and the characters were enjoyable. So
it looks like a movie that delivers exactly what the trailers probably show.
Exactly. You know? So I'm happy for that actor because he seems like a great guy. So are there any characters you'd like to see return in James Gunn's DCU? And then kind of get your overall thoughts on Superman, because I'm pretty sure both of you have seen it. I'll throw it to you first, Kory.
I want Cyborg from Doom Patrol because the actor was great, and they had real armor and real props, and they would use CG to switch between them, but they were still real props. And I thought that was a lot of fun. I kind of doubt they're going to go that route, but I really would like to see more Cyborg, because he's been, like, I think done the most dirty for being such a cool character. Yeah, like they had to release a whole other 4-hour cut of a movie just to bring Cyborg back, and I mean, I can probably name 2 people who've seen him in Doom Patrol, and I'm only assuming that one of them is Badr. I don't know if you actually watched that or not.
Like, I think both of them
are
here.
Actually. It was the same. It was the same actor.
A different actor.
Different, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, different actor. But like the whole outfit, everything was. He's wearing a real outfit. It's no CG, so it just looked great. And again, whenever he would have to transform his arm from like a fist to a gun, they would use CG to do the transformation, but it would still be a real like gun arm prop at the end of that transformation. But even in the Snyder cut, I thoroughly enjoyed Cyborg's role. I don't know, any of the Teen Titans. I don't know. Well, as far as returning, because the question was returning characters, I think that's who I would want. I've had enough of Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
He's going to be
great.
Who's he going to be?
He's going to be
Lobo.
Lobo, yeah.
Which I think is
there
excellent.
we go.
It's just like
that,
Jason
I think
Momoa,
is
just be you.
So much better. Yeah, like I enjoyed him as Aquaman. I'm not dissing that. Aqua Bro was probably like the highlight of that entire franchise. But yeah, everyone else, it's like, no, I take it back. The Suicide Squad, they had good characters, yes, but Cyborg, they could do more with him. Everyone else, I think, got their just desserts. Like, come on, look at Peacemaker and Idris Elba. Like, it's so good. They've got enough.
Yeah, Badr, what about you? Who would you like to see return, and why is it Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam?
Look, that movie was so bad. We haven't heard from Dwayne. We haven't heard from The Rock since. He went back to wrestling.
He's in a Scorsese movie, so that's what he heard.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's about to be in a. Is it Scorsese, Eric, or is it
Yeah, no, it's a Scorsese film.
Yeah.
He's filming that.
He got
He's filming that now,
into doing
and then the
a real
Smashing
movie.
Machine that's coming out, the MMA movie he's doing. Which
Get out of here!
Yeah,
I
mean, he's been quiet though. He's been
Yes.
quiet as hell.
Well, first
so
he had
you
to,
are right.
First he had to ruin WrestleMania, and then now he's
Yes.
returning to acting. But anyway,
So,
Badr,
yeah.
who would you like to see?
I'm sorry. I'm just like so blown away right now by The Rock really is starring in a Scorsese movie. I mean, come on, gotta kind of want. And it's Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in this movie too, apparently.
Well,
Okay. Anyway, sorry. To answer, yeah, right. To answer, and Emily Blunt as well. Anyways, to answer your question, I'm gonna go with King Shark from the 2021 James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, which we're talking about a CGI character, but voiced by none other than Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone,
which I thought was
Sly.
which was a good mirror to, like, you know, how we had Vin Diesel.
Yes, the Nawe, that is her hand.
You know, Vin Diesel playing Groot, Sylvester Stallone playing King Shark just feels right. I feel like there needs to be that balance between the DC U and the MCU. And, you know, I've gone on record in saying that the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie is one of my favorite superhero movies, period. That movie was phenomenal. You know, like, he just continued to prove, like, I will take any ragtag team, any Z-list character you got. For goodness sakes, he had David Dalton playing Polka Dot Man in this movie. And I teared up at Polka Dot Man's, like, you know, final scene. Margot Robbie would have been my answer had you not already prefaced this topic with that. I think she is the epitome of Harley Quinn. She brings a certain flair, fun, and just homicidal, just fun to any movie that she's in. So it's good to hear that he's trying to bring back as many of, like, the good actors, at least, from, like, the previous incarnation of the DCU. Idris Elba being another good one. So final answer, Sylvester Stallone playing King Shark. Why not?
Jared Leto's about to be freed up once Tron releases.
That's you don't
He
have
can
to
stay with Black Adam, way over there.
Yeah. Also, I think it'll be good to bring. It's going to be good to bring back Margot and also Jason Momoa because they both really care about their characters as well.
Yeah.
And they feel a sense of ownership over them, which is great. I don't think this counts because this show is still going on. But, like, can we get a live action Kite Man? I would just really enjoy hearing Kite Man. Hell yeah!
You already know we're getting Kite Man, so I don't know why you brought that up.
Look, knowing James Gunn, he loves
He would.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He loves the obscure characters that are supposed to be a joke. He loves making them even more of a joke, but also adding some heart to it.
Yeah,
I can easily
getting,
see him killing.
We're getting Kite Man,
Hell
Calendar
yeah.
Man, any man.
All the man, all the men. Yeah.
I don't need your help.
Yeah.
I'm a goddamn Mr. Terrific.
Insert adjective, man.
Mr. Terrific was so good.
If you have an adjective before your name and your last name is man, you'll probably be in a James.
You're probably in.
That's true. That's true. Eric, what about you? Are there any of those characters you would like to see in the James Gunn DCU?
I would like to have a pretty fresh slate. I know they talked about, like, you know, with how bad everything ended with Henry Cavill, like, being announced as returning as Superman, but he wasn't actually going to be, so they had to have a talk. They did say maybe he'd have another role, so as an actor, as a sign of good faith, that'd be maybe interesting. I think what would be more interesting, and I don't know if you can really count this as part of the DCEU, but I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I want to see the guy that played the Flash in the CW television show.
Yeah.
Play the Flash in live action.
Definitely banging that drum for sure.
He
Grant,
was
right? What's his first name?
Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin, I think is his name. I should know that because the first 2 seasons of The Flash specifically, where they do the Flashpoint story, it's fantastic. Fantastic for what they put on television and what they could put on television. It just puts everything that they've tried to do with the Flash in live action so far on the big screen to shame. So I would love to see him get a real crack at it because I really do think he embodies what I think of when I think of Barry Allen. But I'd also be interested to see some, Wally West, some other Flashes. That would be interesting too. So they could go that route and I wouldn't be mad, but yeah. Grant Gustin would be my choice.
We were joking about it. I know I joked about it a little bit earlier, but, like, what about Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate? Like, I feel like that was actually one of the good parts of the Black Adam movie. So I wouldn't hate.
Probably the best part of that.
Well,
Black Adam movie.
It was the Justice. What the Justice? What they call them?
Justice Society.
Justice Society.
Yeah.
I'd be good with all of them. I like that whole group. That was probably the more
were
enjoyable
the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be. I'm excited that some of those characters will be returning, and he's off to a really good start. So yeah, before we get into the last wheel spin, which we will do, don't worry, Badr. Do you guys want to give really quick thoughts on Superman before we move on? Badr, I'll throw it to you first.
I think I recorded a whole episode about Superman, but I will condense it into this. Superman was needed. I think had that movie flopped, I think we would all be looking at James Gunn and this new DC universe relaunch a little sideways. But I had no doubt in my mind that it was going to be a success, considering the amount of marketing that they put in. I mean, how good the movie was itself. Very refreshing, like to see Superman get the spotlight again. That's how Superman should be. He's one of the most iconic characters of all of American pop culture. Like he is American pop culture. He's Americana as they come. So that is the reverence and prestige that I think that character deserves. And it was just a really fun movie. I had like very minor gripes. I think, it's a movie that hits the ground running, and sometimes we sacrifice character depth and like, really kind of getting into like the nitty gritty, and certain explanations gets tossed to the side in favor of just a very fast paced, fun, action packed movie. I was talking to Blythe about this, and she brought it up because we were watching Peacemaker, where it's like, Peacemaker feels like James Gunn at his best. It's like, hey, this is what James Gunn does. He does very crude, very, X-rated comedy and humor and, for the adults, And I feel like when he does Peacemaker, it's him having all the fun. I could just tell he's having a blast being obscure, absurd, and all of that. With Superman, thought, he killed it, but I'd be curious to see that Superman in another director's hands who's maybe a little less joking and wants to elevate, the character in a more serious way. But overall, I mean, come on, that Superman movie was phenomenal. It's probably gonna end up on my best of list for sure. Best of end of the year, best of list for sure.
Yeah, I've seen it twice, and I've said this before as someone who did not care about Superman. Going through that movie and seeing it the first time, I was like, I get it. I understand why Superman sits on this pedestal for people, because for years I just didn't really care too much. But Kory, what about you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also recorded a 5-minute thing just this morning for the Comic Zombie podcast, which is run by Eric Slater. So yeah, they're going to be releasing an episode on Superman. They already did a full review of the whole visual franchise. And now they're going to be doing one of the upcoming movie. But my main takeaway, and I'll focus it on Superman, was this is kind of the ideal version of the one-dimensional Superman. When creators make a one-dimensional character that has one thing that they stick to, the creators themselves are generally the ones at fault when those characters start to kind of become boring or just fall out of favor. I'm generally with Phil, and with a lot of people, I don't like Superman. Conceptually great, terrible execution, but this is great because he's one-sided, he's altruistic, and that is put to the test, and he has to choose to remain altruistic. And I think one of the best parts of the movie is when he gets mad at Lex. A lot of people don't realize that you can be altruistic and mad. Monks can get mad. And he screams at him, and he's like, I love, I have, feelings, I cry, all this stuff. And the entire movie, this dude's just trying to find his dog. And we find out at the end that he's just helping out his sister, who makes terrible life choices. He's trying to maintain his love life and have a professional career. And then at the very end, it's he breaks, and he's like, dude, just fucking stop. I'm just like you.
Really quick, on top of that, he's also dealing with a massive smear campaign.
Yeah,
everything that he grew up thinking about his birth parents is wrong.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of emotions on his plate, and this movie does a great job of what does a paragon of society have to face, and how do they deal with it? And it's not as overly dramatic as Man of Steel, but he still has a lot to face, and you can see him cracking as the movie is going on, because all he wants to do is the right thing. And then in order to escape, he's got to help some random ass dude's baby. He's getting sucked into an interdimensional portal. He had a rough week, man.
Yeah. But it was in the same regard, it's also really cool that that James Gunn decides to lean into the sci-fi almost fantasy elements of Superman, where it's all these trials, almost as if he's a mythological character like Hercules, right? The 12 trials of Hercules, all these things that Superman has to overcome and accomplish in just what seems like a 48-hour time span.
Yeah,
I think really paints the picture of just the kind of world that he lives in.
Yeah. I will not forgive the test audiences for making them remove, because this all happens within the span of a week. And throughout the movie, there were title cards, essentially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, kind of similar to what they did in the Suicide Squad, which I know, Eric, you didn't like that part of it. But yeah, it all happened over the course of like a few days, and test audiences didn't like it, so they removed it. So
Okay, fair enough. You know, like, this is definitely, I think because this movie had so much writing on it, I can see how they would want to, you know, maybe make those kind of changes based on the reaction. Most of the times I'm like, why, you know, don't be a punk, like, you know, stick to the artistic vision. But I think a lot was writing for this movie, so not surprised.
Yeah. So, but yeah, DCU trending in the right direction. I actually do have one more. The person they should actually bring back is Milton from the Suicide Squad, who dies unceremoniously, and Idris.
Who's Milton?
Milton,
Wait, which
who's
one's
still
Milton?
with us. Do you remember the guy that dies in the
Oh
office?
yeah.
That's
And
right.
he's like,
Oh, shit, I
Milton was
forgot about
still with us. And Harley's like, who's Milton?
That's right. Damn, I forgot about that.
So yeah, let's
Great
retcon
movie,
Milton and then bring Milton back. But speaking of bringing things back, Eric, one more time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Thank goodness.
I like the
Who's
odds
it
here.
gonna be?
Well, we have red.
Blue Badr
blue.
or red pill Badr?
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Yeah. God.
We are going to find out. All
What
right,
does a red
guys.
pill Badr sound like? All right, hit it.
All right, we're gonna count down. We're gonna do it. 3, 2, 1.
Spin that
Wheel. Who's it gonna be?
Oh boy, I got a lot riding on Badr.
Oh,
red
now
Badr.
red.
Nice.
Pokemon Red Badr. All right,
I hate
Badr.
Moroccans coming to our country in these Chinese movies. That's red pill Badr. Red pill Badr, right?
All right, Badr. What did we miss in the month of
Okay.
August?
So obviously I was. Do I overthink? Absolutely, I overthink a lot of things. So I overthought like what stories I was gonna bring to the Wait For It podcast because I didn't wanna like come half stepping, right? And I was like, well, obviously I'm the comic book guy, I'm the podcast guy, so I got to bring some comic book topics. Like I want to make it interesting. So both of my stories are centered around comic books, but digital. What's going on in the digital space? Because that to me has been a very interesting space in the comic book industry, and seeing how that is developing and finally getting caught up with the time. So my first story, both of these obviously came from the middle of August. My first story is based on the Global Comics comic book platform. All right. So Global Comics is a digital comic book platform, meaning that they host a lot of different comic books. You can go there and read DC Comics. You could read indie comics from Image Comics, Boom Comics, but they also let indie creators host their comics on this platform. And not just from America, but all over the world. That's the name Global Comics. It's in the name. So, you know, you can read comic books from indie creators from Egypt, Africa, the Philippines, Korea, you know, etc. Like all over. It's open to everyone. Well, earlier this month, they announced that they are now partnering up with Kodansha, which is one of the largest, you know, most iconic manga publishers out there, to put some of their titles and properties on the Global Comics platform, which is a huge deal in terms of, you know, increasing the accessibility and reach of manga. I think right now for Kodansha, and when I say Kodansha, some of the titles and series that they have and own, Attack on Titan, Battle Angel Alita, Ghost in the Shell is apparently also a Kodansha series, Initial D, Vinland Saga, like all of these very popular, iconic manga series that belong to Kodansha. Right now, for you to even read those series, you either have to buy the physical books at a Books A Million or a bookstore, or be subscribed to their digital platform. I think they've got a standalone app as well. Well, this now just increases the reach of these manga series, you know, because Global Comics is a very fast and very rising in popularity among like folks like myself who like to read their comic books digitally. Global Comics already like hosts over 100. I think when I checked, it was like over 100,000 comics. So you can imagine how much that has increased now with the addition of Kodansha titles as well. So very big, very a big deal. And I think this is something that, you know, I'm definitely going to be watching this going forward, because there is no other, to my knowledge at the moment. I think there might be something in the works, but I don't think any other digital comic platform has, you know, has partnered with a manga publisher. So this is a big deal in that regard, that, you know, you can go to one place to read American as well as global comics, but also manga, which is typically not the most. Reading manga digitally is, you know, either you've got the Shonen Jump app or you got the Viz Media app. Like I said, I want to say Kodansha has their own service as well, but now you've got another option as well. So according to this article from Comics Beat, it says that on August 21st, which is already passed, they put 500 hand-picked books from Kodansha's catalog on the Global Comics platform. One thing that I do want to note is that for Global Comics, you can either have a free account or you can pay like a very nominal like monthly membership fee. I think they've also got an annual fee as well. It's like $60, and you get access to just about every book on there. Some books are hidden behind a paywall. But with this particular partnership, at the moment, it's a la carte. So it's not like you can stream or read the books for free. Like, you get the first couple pages of any of these manga series I named, and then it's like, hey, it's, you know, whatever, $10 to get the rest. Which is, you know, obviously not the thing that most of us want to hear, but it's a step in the right direction. At least they're available within the same platform as, you know, I could be reading Attack on Titan and then switch over to like Invincible if I wanted within the same app, which I think is pretty cool. So August 21st, they did a very kind of like soft launch of over 500 titles. And then later this week, actually this week that we're recording, August 27th, they're adding another like 1,000. Now they're really opening the floodgates in terms of what they're offering. So like I said, we're looking at Attack on Titan, which had Atelier, I think that's how you say it, Vinland Saga, and a whole bunch of other ones will be available on Global Comics. One little bonus thing that I want to mention too is that some of these are getting like simulcast, so the same time that it comes out, you know, in Japan or wherever, will also be available at the same time on Global Comics. Specifically, they're the Young Magazine. Have you guys ever heard of that? Young Magazine is like another version of like Shonen Jump. Remember the old Shonen Jump magazines? Well, Young Magazine is much like that too, which I think is very interesting, because as someone that used to go to beg his dad to go to Winn-Dixie to go buy the paper, you know, Shonen Jump phone book size book, I have been kind of fiending for something like that again, to like kind of have like an anthology series. So Global Comics is doing some interesting things with Kodansha. Very interesting that they were able to get this partnership. I know that, like I said, manga publishers can sometimes be very tricky when it comes to offering digital titles. So looking forward to seeing how this grows and what the next steps are. I wish I had a cool question to follow up on that, but I guess any initial thoughts at this? And I guess, Kory, I'm looking at you because you're my resident anime manga guy.
Yeah, so like right now it seems like most of the stuff they have is it's older. I mean, naming titles like Vinland Saga, Ghost in the Shell, Attack on Titan, this is stuff that's already done. But there is, I think this is pretty cool as far as getting access to stuff. I was at the comic shop earlier today. He didn't realize, and most people do not realize, that one of the most popular ways to distribute manga in Japan, even going as far back as at least the 80s, is where I keep finding stuff. And you'll have this massive, you know, it's almost like a phone book, but it's definitely a coffee table book, and it'll be maybe a dozen different manga in one chapter of each thing. So like when you go out and buy a tankobon that's 5 chapters, you're looking at about 5 months worth of, you know, say Shonen Jump, because we know it. Even trying to find stuff, I was going over a Battle Angel Alita title last year and was struggling. I thought it was cool because that is Kodansha as well. They are releasing it digitally, but they are not translating it. So I think if there is a level of popularity with something like Global Comics that maybe that would encourage them to invest more in translation, because beyond the couple of issues that I had, if I wanted to read more, I had to read scanlations. I literally, it was just like being a child again. I had to go to a forum to find scanlations of this manga.
Preach it, brother. I'm always yeah. And to Kory's point, that is the other hurdle when it comes to having manga digital, is that, you know, some series are out of print, long out of print, or very expensive, or have never been translated. And I think I read an article earlier this year about how a few different manga publishers are investing heavily in AI to help them overcome just the manpower required to translate a lot of their old stories. Kory, you might appreciate this, but like Nako Urasawa, who's one of our favorite manga creators ever, his stuff, I believe that he's got a contract in place. I don't know if it's him per se or Kodansha, that his stuff does not get a digital release. Like, you cannot find his stuff digital because he does not want it, released digital. So there's a lot of different, hurdles that come with trying to have manga accessible digital. I think this is a step in the right direction, that a Japanese company is working with an American company to, provide this to the masses.
Well, you were talking about the AI thing, because I know on the film end, obviously when it comes to translating and when it comes to distribution, there's a whole lot of infighting. And just on the English side, Badr, you've spoken with many creators who've talked about that. But I last year, it took like a year for me to get a DVD that I've been waiting on, but it was of three Kamen Rider movies. And the reason it took so long, the guy, one dude runs this company, and he released a video and he's like, look, I just want to like break down how this process works so that y'all are on the same level as me. He's like, these Japanese companies, the reason why this stuff is so hard to get over here is because they don't care. It's already made money, or maybe not made money. So they do not care about distributing it globally. So they want someone else to come in. So if you're an English speaking audience, say an American single dude, to hire people to get it translated so that the company's not actually footing the bill on something that, again, may or may not have been very popular. So with something like Global Comics, hopefully that could maybe encourage. I mean, we've got Crunchyroll. You've already mentioned a couple of the ones that are putting out stuff. But hopefully the Japanese can see that there is a market for a lot of this stuff, that maybe if they foot however many thousands, hundreds of thousands it takes for the series to be properly translated, scanned, all that stuff, maybe they could get something from it.
Phil, Eric, lightning round question. What is the last manga you've read, or what is your favorite manga you've ever read?
This is a way more difficult question to answer for Eric than it is for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, Phil's probably straightforward.
Eric can't read. Yeah. We know that.
Yeah, first off, Eric can't read. So, for me...
That's why you guys have a Patreon. You guys are paying for reading classes for Eric.
That's what it's for. Help a child read.
Duolingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, on phonics.
The most recent I've read is Dantadan. That's the one I'm currently reading right now. And then the one that's my favorite is Chainsaw Man. I mean, I have Chainsaw Man stuff all over this office. I have a Chainsaw Man tattoo. So that's the one that I like the most. This is a really cool, I'll let Eric go in a second, but this is a really cool app. I actually downloaded it while you were talking about it, because it just does remind me of the Shonen Jump app, Eric, which I'm sure you were going to bring up. So I have realized I do like, with manga specifically, having a physical copy. Like, I will read it more if I have a physical copy in my hand than I will digitally. But this is really cool. Like I said, I downloaded this as you brought it up. But yeah, Eric, what's yours as you look back at your library there?
Yeah, it's
the library back there.
There is. Yeah, they're all up there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of volume ones. Honestly, there's a lot of really good ones. What have I read recently? So I recently had gotten into Dandadan as well. There was also one I had started that I need to pick back up called Kagurubachi.
Ooh, I am reading that on the Shonen Jump app, and that is a fire series.
It's cool. It's gonna when they
dope.
animate that shit's gonna be sick. Like I like the whole deal with the sword and everything.
Yeah,
like
and the goldfish.
it's very Demon Slayer coded as far as what I think it's gonna look like.
Eric, I like being that grouchy, uppity snob that's like, I already read it. I don't need to watch it.
I don't need to watch it. Honestly,
that's not a big deal in the manga, by the way.
I will say I did enjoy my read through of Kaiju number 8, so bringing that back full circle. But yeah, no, like I've definitely, if I got to pick one, it's one of my favorite anime as well, which is Kaguya-sama Love is War. So that's one that's up there, rom-com. Yeah, and also one of my favorite anime. So it's
Take that, Phil. Eric had answers.
I mean,
I was ready.
Locked and
I
loaded.
probably could have.
You just pick titles that can be found on Netflix right now.
Listen, it's
Just to what Badr just said though, it is nice knowing because the Chainsaw Man movie comes out soon. And I'm like, I already know what happens, you bitches. Like,
and Chainsaw Man's a good read too.
And
style's outstanding too. So yeah.
Yeah.
The approach to manga too is interesting when you look at some of these companies because they don't make money off of they don't make a lot of money off of the manga themselves. When it becomes an anime and it becomes, when there's merch involved and those movies, that's when it becomes, profitable for them. The manga, the anthologies that you'll find, the stories you'll find in Shonen Jumps or Young Magazine, like that is them kind of like testing the waters. Like, hey, if there's a big enough audience here, then we move it to tankobon. If the tankobons sell well, clearly we got to get this shit animated. So it's interesting to see, I think they call it a reverse waterfall or a waterfall effect when you look at the manga anime pipeline. They start very small. That's why Shonen Jump, the magazines were like, very cheap paper, like the newspaper print, and it's black and white. They're not trying to spend a bunch of money on these stories. They're trying to see which ones are worth the investment. So I've really been in this like mindset of like, understanding manga. And I think it goes back to what we talked about with the K-pop Demon Hunters is that we're seeing the accessibility for these things, the transparency, like it's here, it's in full force, right? Like Crunchyroll, I think had an insane surge during like the lockdown. Manga really blew up. Anime, I should say, really blew up. And then hearing Kory say like, they're not willing to spend like, the very bare minimum, on this stuff. It's interesting to see what they will and what they won't. And I think manga is still like an uphill battle for it to be totally accessible. Which maybe brings me to my next topic, unless we wanted to spin the wheel for just one.
No. I was going to let you transition to your next one anyway, because you're perfect.
You could go to your doubleheader. I will say though that if you guys were interested, it's getting even crazier with Crunchyroll. I'll save us that didn't make the cut. Did you know that you could watch Crunchyroll on Delta Airlines now?
Yep.
Whoa.
So.
It's like a thing that they offer. Do you need a subscription or?
No, it'll just be on. It'll be available, and there'll be like a catalog of anime.
I just can't wait for the stewardess to walk up while I'm watching the first episode of Dantanon and how.
Yeah.
Really quick, I think I figured out the perfect Weight Watchers field trip. We all book a flight,
Delta flight,
from Jax to Tampa. Just so we can watch Crunchyroll on the plane.
I don't think that's long enough.
Eating our BJ glizzies.
I love it.
Listen, I am taking that flight from Tampa to Jacksonville because I
really? That's
I used to live there.
Waste of gas.
Listen, we're not going to get into generational trauma.
Okay. All right. Even Taylor Swift just heard that and she's like, "Wow,
yeah, I know. What a waste
of
gas! Yeah, what a waste of fuel." But I've taken that flight, and I remember because I had like a regular iPod, and I think I would listen to like 2 songs, and they'd be like, "Everyone, please turn off all electronic devices as we descend into Jacksonville."
I've had longer sneezes in that flight. Okay. Moving on, and in a similar vein, my next topic also deals with digital comics, and that is the announcement that Webtoon and Disney have teamed up to reformat and offer original stories based on Disney comic properties. So we're talking about, obviously, their Marvel stuff. Disney owns Marvel. It has the Star Wars property. It also has some 20th century properties as well. So what this means is, and I'm assuming we all know what Webtoons is, right? It's like one of the largest, I think it's safe to say it is the largest digital comic subscription platform or service. It started out, I forget when it started out, but it started out mainly catered to hosting like manga as well as manhwa, which is like the Korean version of manga. But it quickly, obviously, opened up. They've done partnerships, Webtoons has, with DC Comics. They had the very popular Wayne Family Adventures hosted on Webtoons, which was like stupid successful. But they've also worked with Dark Horse. They've done Archie Comics as well in IDW. Well, it's now Disney's turn, pardon me, to get in on the fun. So they recently announced a partnership where Webtoons will be taking certain existing comic titles, such as Spider-Man, some Avengers comics from 2012, some Star Wars comics, some Alien comics, some old Disney comics, reformatting them into the vertical scroll, as well as they'll be working on making original stories for the format and the platform as well. Now, Marvel, or Disney, just Marvel in this case, has their own digital comic app. It's called the Marvel Unlimited app. That's been around for a long time. I've been an annual subscriber for like years now. And I've slowly watched them offer vertical comics, and they call it the Marvel Infinite Comics is what they call their vertical scroll comics on that app. And I safe to say it's because of the success and popularity of Webtoons that they copied that idea. Well, now Marvel's just like, well, Disney is like, hey, let's host some of our stuff on Webtoons because they've already got a lot of subscribers. It's popular as hell. We can cater and maybe grab the attention of folks that are going on there for other stuff. So it's showing me that Disney and Marvel are trying to be where, people who are reading comics are. And in this case, like I said, manga is huge. I think American comics is in an interesting point where they need to bring in new blood. They need to bring in fresh blood. They need to bring in a younger audience. And most of that younger audience is into anime and manga. So they need to be on Webtoons to have that presence there. And I got to say, as someone that's been reading digital comics for a long time, the vertical scroll takes some getting used to, especially when you're reading something like a traditional Spider-Man comic that's been reformatted. So it's interesting to see how they tackle like the panels, the gutters, and like just the format and structure of a traditional comic now being converted for, vertical scrolling. But it makes a lot of sense, right? Like how many of us, all of us spend so much time on our phones. It's interesting for them to offer that as an additional form of entertainment that now you can, read a comic book the same way that you would scroll social media. So I guess my question for the group is, what is your familiarity or interaction with Webtoons? Have you guys ever gone on Webtoon, or do you guys have a series that you followed?
I have not, but, obviously very familiar with what they are and their popularity. And I will say, just looking at the article that you had brought up here, this artwork for this As Old As Time, Twisted Tale, this Beauty and the Beast one looks really cool. Eric, I don't know if you have the article up, but it reminds me of the Alice in Wonderland game from back in the day. This is something that, like you said, just alternate stories within these universes is also something that very much interests me. So yeah, not too much. I haven't read any myself, but certainly again familiarity with their rise in popularity. Eric, what about you?
Yeah, I was just checking, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong if you know these properties, but I'm pretty sure both of these came from Webtoons. So the first one is Tower of God. I do believe that is accurate, and they did a Crunchyroll adaptation of that. And then I believe, isn't Solo Leveling also a big Webtoon thing? Am I wrong? Does that count? It might. So that's those would be my two.
That one. I know Lore Olympus.
Punch Man. And it's not from this site, but One Punch Man originally started as a webtoon, at
Got
least.
it.
Oh, really? Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Lore Olympus
terrible.
is like Lore Olympus is the big one that comes to mind. How to Hide the Emperor's Child is another big one. I mean, there's been a lot of big franchises that have come out of Webtoon. I mean, I'm on the website right now, and I see the banner for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. It says coming soon to Webtoon. So it's interesting to see them promote that. But I mean, you look at some of these views. I'm on the popular series by category. To Whom It No Longer Concerns. I've never read it, but it's got 44 million views. Another one here has 24 million views. Like Webtoons is interesting to see, a company like Global Comics embrace manga by bringing in Kodansha, and then a company like, established company like DC and Marvel, to be like, hey, we got to get with this, Webtoons thing, this, where the manga is at. So very interesting to see some of these shifts, follow like the new digital trend.
But you are right, Eric. Solo Leveling is a South Korean webtoon.
Oh, it did? Okay, there you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Kory,
I'm
what
seeing
about
Cyberpunk and oh my god, The Last Ronin on here. The TMNT The Last Ronin.
Exactly. another a hit series that came out of IDW in 2020. Huge. I mean, it was like one of the best-selling comics of that year. Now it's got a vertical edition, a version of it. So I think and at the same time, it's like it doesn't. If you're someone that likes the traditional comic book format, it's always going to be there. It came out as that first, but this is an additional way to like bring in some new blood. Folks that are already on here that might want to. I've always wanted to check out TMNT. Here it is on Webtoon in a format that I read all my other stuff in. So why not?
And to answer your question, I've not been on Webtoons, but I'm aware of it solely because of Lore Olympus. I have a friend who's obsessed with it, and I got to see some of the art, and it's like, oh wow, this is genuinely good. And what really surprised me was when I was at Barnes & Noble, when I worked there, like 2021, 2022, we had 2 hardback collections with a third one on the way. I think the third one released right around the time that store closed. But it was really cool to see, again, kind of coming from like the manga thing where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna post this, and it's not. I was always kind of against Webtoon stuff. I think I have been on this site like back at its inception, and a lot of the stuff on there was just not good. I probably browsed it for like 5 minutes and left. But like Lore Olympus is really good. There are people out there who have really good products and they're just waiting to get picked up. And like right now, you can only find 9 chapters of Lore Olympus, and that is probably because they have a deal with someone else and had to like remove it from Webtoons or something.
Well, I think Webtoons also has a system for like paywall too, where it's like, hey, we'll give you the first hits free, but the rest you got to get signed up.
Yeah, that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
And those are my digital comics book stories.
Hell yeah. Well, we wouldn't expect anything less from you, Badr. And you brought it to the table. Phil, I believe this is the part of the episode where we didn't make the cut. Badr, I just want to ask, were those the only stories you had? Did you have any other quick hitters to throw out there?
No, nothing that is quick. I did. I'm looking at my show notes, my outline, because that's how much I respect you guys. I came through with an outline.
That's right.
We don't even do that.
We ain't gonna give you one.
I love that you both said at the same time. Okay, I'm just gonna say the headline, and we don't have to dwell on them anymore. I was for what didn't make the cut. Marvel Comics announces Predator Badlands sequel comic. So if you've been watching Predator Badlands, they've got a sequel comic, which I'm noticing more sequel comics coming out for things like for franchises. I think there is was it a Game of Thrones? Or was that a video game? I think there was a video game. But more and more TV series are utilizing the medium of comics to tell, like that side story or a prequel that they don't have, that they couldn't fit within the show itself. So Predator Badlands is doing that with Marvel releasing a prequel comic. Another one that didn't make the cut, I was going to talk about the upcoming Marvel and DC crossover that's taking place the next couple months. Marvel is putting out Deadpool meets Batman, and then DC is putting out the inverse, Batman meets Deadpool. And within each one of these issues, there's a bunch of mini stories within said. I think it's going to be like a 60 or 70 page comic that the main story is Batman and Deadpool crossover, and then you've got crossovers of like Green Arrow and Daredevil, Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. So both companies are coming correct. This is like the first time that both publishers have done an official crossover since 2004. It was like it's been a long time, like 20 years. So it's a very big deal. These books are going to sell like massive. I mean, they're going to sell huge. I was going to talk a little bit about those backup stories. Didn't make the cut, and I think that's all I had. Just those 2 stories.
Nice. I know those are. We're going to be covering Prey here on the podcast in November, leading up to Badlands. So we're really excited about that. It's cool to see that it's getting a sequel comic, but yeah. The Batman and Deadpool stuff is super cool. I think there's such a future ahead of us when it comes to film, because I think down the road at some point we are gonna get something. I don't know how it'll happen, Phil, but I can see it now that James Gunn is leading the cavalry over there. He has that Marvel relationship. Like we're closer than ever, in my opinion, of the reality of a Marvel DC film.
I totally
We'll see it
agree.
next year when Doomsday shits the bed and they panic.
You mean panic and just get desperate for money?
Yeah.
At some point, they're gonna have to give us what we want.
Honestly, I'm genuinely shocked they have not paid a ransom for Spider-Man yet. Like, it's honestly kind of crazy. I think it'll probably happen after Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, which means it'll never happen.
Which means that, yeah, because that's never. That is never coming out. Kory, did you have any stories that were on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, so the super short one was the announcement of the Godzilla -1 sequel that could be out as early as next year, which
Isn't
is
that nuts?
insane. Yeah.
They put out
It's like
5 seasons of Stranger Things in 20 years, and we're going to get 2 -1 movies.
But I feel like they knew, like the director knew where he wanted to take things. So as soon as they were like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it, he's like, all right, I'm already halfway there. But I'm excited for that because I really want to know where they're going to go. The end of the movie, like as a guy who's obsessed with the franchise, the very end of that movie is like, okay, where are we taking this? I have so many ideas in mind, and I want all of them to be blown out of the water. But the other thing, which you can also go enjoy right now, is Alien Earth. It's very fun. It's not I don't know, it's not as epic as like Aliens, Romulus, because it is a serialized show. It's a little bit more toned down, but there's still plenty of violence. There's still a lot of story that's being developed. And right now that Sid the Sloth meme is driving a massive wedge in Phil and I's friendship. Because every time I talk about Alien, he just posts that again and again. And
Phil,
again.
Can you go through the trouble on the video version of this episode of slowly fading
Yeah,
the sloth as he's
I
talking?
usually don't do any editing for this episode, but I will.
Can you
do
mark it?
Actually,
I'll
every
put
time
it.
Kory talks this entire episode, I'm gonna just fade it in.
Just have Sid the Sloth in the background.
It'll just be in like different pockets.
But yeah, it's so tonight, like right now, once we're done with this, I'll probably go fire up episode 4. It's going to be 8 episodes total, but only taking 7 weeks to release because they did a 1 and 2 drop on the first night. Yeah. So I want to know where it goes. I love the Alien franchise. It's good and it's bad. I'll take all of it. But this was really cool because, I don't know, literally no one has ever been able to sit down weekly and watch an Alien thing. Like you get one weekend and that's it. So it is kind of fun to have that little bit of camaraderie in some discords where it's like, oh hey, did you see it, what did you think about it? So I think that's something that's fun to be able to do, and just get kind of a different take. It feels safer than having released another movie so soon after Romulus, So
Yeah. And Romulus was good. As somebody who's not the biggest Alien fan or Predator fan, I'm finding myself like in 2025 being excited for what the future holds for both of those franchises.
And did you say that you hadn't seen Prey because you're covering it?
So I have seen it, but this year. So I saw it and I needed to check it out to see if Phil would end up either enjoying it, A, and B, can he watch it? Because there's typically stuff that he can't watch. So I had to vet it, and it passed the vetting. It was very good. It was very good. The fact that it didn't get a theatrical release, possibly a crime.
Yeah, that's a crime. Yeah, I would have gone because I think I watched it. It was either 2 days in a row. That's another one that I watched like within a week. But I might have watched it 2 days in a row because if memory serves, I had issues sleeping on the night that it released, and so I watched it at like 4 a.m. and Brenda was mad because she's like, I want to watch it. I was like, literally, I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep. I got to do something. And so I think I watched it twice within a 24-hour period, maybe even 12 hours, and it was worth it both times. And I might have watched it a third time for a podcast. So yeah, Prey's really good. I'm hyped for where they're going with that stuff. And to rep Shortbox once again,
I can just press a button. But anyways, rep it, please.
Yeah, the Heroes Con panel. One of the guys was saying, he's like, everything about the Predator and Aliens in the Marvel universe is gold. and I need to check that out. So it's a really good couple of years for like Alien and Predator.
Yeah, highly recommend the. There is a Predator and Spider-Man. Is Predator versus Spider-Man or Spider-Man versus Predator? One of those comic series that came out this year, and I think there's already a sequel. I think it's like Kraven the Hunter and Predator, but very good, very graphic. All right, I will say, Marvel. Very quickly, Marvel or Disney now owns 20th Century Fox. One of the things they did was decide, hey, we're going to put out comics with these properties, but they're going to be branded 20th Century. So there's like a banner or the logo on said comic, and they are not shy about showing you all the gore and bloodshed. Okay, so that Spider-Man versus Predator comic is intense.
Hell yeah.
I saw Alien
Phil.
vs. Predator 2004. Isn't that?
No, that's not. Although we're very close to that
Were
happening.
they friends?
Again.
That's what I'm saying. I've already seen it. And they're buddies.
I don't think it's as canon as the Godzilla stories we were talking about earlier. Phil,
Boy.
do you have any didn't make the cut? And then I will go through our Discord roundup.
I have two really quick ones. The first one, Kory and I actually talked about this the other day, is I was going to go see Primitive War over the weekend. I was pretty excited about it. You know, a new dinosaur movie. It was released by an independent studio. It only had a very limited release. And then I found out over the weekend they straight up like stole assets from the Jurassic series, used a lot of AI, and I'm just like, well, there goes that dream. Like, I felt like I felt like that went out the window. So, yeah, just for those of you that maybe haven't seen it yet, thinking about renting it, I was pretty disappointed to hear that. So, but you know, honestly, wasn't too surprised, unfortunately. But the other story that I really grappled with that I thought I might talk about was Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight being announced, which is going to be an open world Lego game with the Dark Knight Batman, with the Arkham series combat in it. And it looks.
I was just gonna ask if they were basing it on Arkham.
Incredible.
I gotta watch this
really
trailer.
feel like the Lego games peaked back in the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Batman days in the early 2000s. And this looks like a return to form, so very excited to jump back into the Lego games, man. I will pre-order this as a 36-year-old man.
I can't wait for that. Look, you know, like thinking about the Arkham games, it's just how violent those games are. Like just how much of an ass whooping you could put on like just the lowest common denominator to thugs.
Sending a man to the
50-hit combo.
Sending him to the hospital.
But it's like, well, now we're talking about Legos. And it's like, well, does that mean like the handcuffs come off? Because there's like, you know, you're not showing blood. Imagine like a bunch of just Legos just breaking off of someone.
Just pieces all over the place. Yeah. Yeah.
And really quick, Phil, I heard that the map in that Lego Batman game coming out is supposed to be even bigger than the Arkham City map, which was already like a colossal game.
I'll tell you what, if they animate the Bane plane scene, I'll scream.
That'd
from
be legit.
The rooftops.
That'd be legit. Yeah. Hey, really quick, can I say, Phil and Eric, I was a little disappointed today. I went on the Wait for a podcast page, and I was just like trying to get caught up. I was like, oh, what have they covered? I know you guys cover video games a lot, and maybe it's because I'm playing this particular game and you guys aren't covering the game I'm playing that I'm like, oh, come on, guys. But I was surprised that you guys haven't covered. Have you guys covered or talked about Claire Obscure Expedition 33?
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that. It's actually going to be next month's episode of the Wait For It podcast.
Okay, deal.
And as a Weight Watcher, you will get it early.
Oh,
you
hell
will.
yeah.
So Patreon has been very well represented here, but we really wanted to do it quicker. It's a game that just like it's long. Like it's a long game,
sure.
and you kind of got to take your time with it. Phil,
And
I don't think you're gonna
suck at it.
Phil's really bad at it. Phil will likely not beat it by the time we record, but I have already beaten it. So I'm very excited to get into it.
Okay.
But I'm hoping he'll get somewhere into the middle of Act 2. And I think at that point, he can pretty much say everything he needs to say about the game. That's not story related.
Deal. I can't wait. All right. I am so glad I brought that up. I'm very excited. I think I'm going to go eat a box of donuts as a Weight Watcher. Is that how it works?
Yes, it is. if you don't gain 10 pounds a month, then it's not working.
Lizzie's
We're
on the
watching
way,
our-
so don't
Yeah,
worry.
We're watching our weight go up as on this Patreon, right? Because we eating good. That's what it is. I think there's so much you guys can do with this. Like, hey, we're eating good. All right, we're
Eating
watching
good.
our weight go up.
Eric, what about you? Or are you just going to go straight into the Discord roundup?
Yeah,
Because we need to get
no,
to
I
our game.
mixed.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
we need to get to our
2
game.
hours.
I mixed it. Yeah, I know. I mixed it into our. I mixed mine into the Discord roundup. So if you want to catch up on everything that happens every single month, join our Discord. We have a pop culture news channel where we will have everybody post stuff that is going on every single week, pretty much, and we have some discourse about it. I'm gonna run through all the headlines. I've got a lot. Gentlemen, you do not have to speak to each one. Whatever comes to mind, make a note, say this one word, and then just bullet point it for me. I'm going to run it down, though, so I may be talking for the next 3 minutes. Couple quick hitters. These are really pointless stories. Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, The Batman Part 2, apparently will finally begin filming in the spring, according to Warner Brothers Discovery. Lie. Shamik Moore reveals he has begun voice recording for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Lie. Spider-Man, a Spider-Punk
Damn, Jerry
animated
Springer.
feature. Yeah, well, those ones were bad. We bring those up, it feels like every 3 months, and we find out it just keeps getting
It's
delayed.
definitely a nothing burger headline for sure.
Nothing burger. Spider-Punk animated feature, though, from Daniel Kaluuya will be in development at Sony, so we'll never see it, but Deadline had learned that and shared it with us. Shrek 5, talking about delays, was delayed. It will release in 2027. Disappointing. Michael Bay is apparently in talks to return for another Transformers. Nobody asked for that.
Exactly.
Nobody
Stop
asked
it.
for that. Not one person asked for it.
What was the inspiration for the balls?
It's just-
balls.
Bring back.
He's gonna bring him back. He's gonna bring him back.
That came for the ball.
Still in movie news, Zach Krager is going to be directing his Resident Evil film. Apparently, it's going to be an original story in the universe and not include characters from the games. Do with that as you will. And on the movie side of things, there is a film that's going to be coming out called Rental Family. Trailer with Brendan Fraser. The film follows a struggling actor who is hired as a token American guy for a Japanese rental family company in Tokyo. Looks both hilarious and probably devastating. On the TV
I'm
side,
excited
of
about
things,
that.
Holy
It's
shit,
gonna be
he's
so
got
good.
more. He's got
I've
TV
got more. I'm not
news.
done. That was just movies. On the TV side, Hulu is officially ending. Disney is announcing a full integration with Disney Plus. Apple TV Plus is increasing to $12.99 a month. I know Phil is devastated about that. The Office spinoff, The Paper, is going to pivot to a binge drop release. All 10 episodes are dropping September 4th.
They
Will
know
it
it
be as
sucks.
good?
They know it sucks.
They know it's probably not, but September 4th, we'll find out. And Nicolas Cage is in talks to star in the 5th season of HBO's True Detective. I've never watched that series, but I
Damn,
can
that
only
show is
imagine.
still
Interested.
airing? Wow.
I can only imagine how left it's gone because a Nick Cage season is going to be wild. And then on the TV side of things, before our wrap up is over with a couple gaming news, Florence Pugh was apparently in talks to play Abby in The Last of Us HBO, but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. So if you could hate
been so
the second
great.
season more,
Hey, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I mean,
It was
that
pretty
would have been
bad.
great.
yeah, it was pretty
Damn,
bad.
Florence Pugh? Pew.
It would have been nuts. Would have been nuts. But final news, Team Cherry announced the release date for Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. September 4th as well, I believe. It's going to be out. Red Octane Games, the rhythm game studio led by veterans who helped scale Guitar Hero and DJ Hero. Apparently a new rhythm game is going to be announced later this year. Super exciting if you're a fan of that genre of gaming. And then the last thing for the Discord roundup, we had a lot of fun talking about the disaster that happened in Tampa, Florida at National Gaming Expo, where one of the guests, one of the GTA guests that was there for the con said they put the con in Comic-Con. So if you missed that story,
Wow,
pretty
gotta check that
wild. But yeah, it
Like
was
the Fire Fest of conventions.
the Fire Fest of conventions is the way I would
I gotta
describe
check
it.
that out.
That is
Damn.
our Discord roundup. So, Badr, is there any pick one, pick
No,
two, whatever
no,
you
no,
want?
no, no,
Anything
no,
you want to say?
Eric, we've been recording so long, my backlight just went out.
I
The
saw
battery just died. I'm like, what the hell happened? No, Eric, you did such a great. The biggest takeaway, Godzilla news aside, DC James Gunn news aside, Eric, the money you paid for that new mic, well worth it. You sound goddamn great, bro.
Thank you.
I think you nailed it all, man.
Dude, I've been playing with this fucking Rodecaster.
You sound
I don't
good.
know how I
You
recorded
sound good.
without
Are
it.
you sure it's Phil that's doing the voice acting? Because I think you might got a future in it.
I'm gonna take your job, Phil.
I tried to get him to take an acting class with me. He didn't do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I'm straight up, Eric. I think you nailed all the quick hitters. I don't even want to add to it. Perfection.
Hell yeah. Kory, anything to add? Phil, anything to add?
Brendan Fraser can do no wrong.
Keep Shamik Moore away from Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. No, we can make that happen.
The only other thing, I guarantee you people guessed the plot for Shrek 5, and that's why they push it back. I 100% guarantee you people, because people were online talking about, because Zendaya's playing the daughter, and like, oh, Zendaya wants to go off and be this independent person, and Shrek's gonna be like, no, I don't go do this, donkey, and all that shit, and they just guessed what was gonna happen, and they had to scrap it and redo it. So, yeah.
Crazy. All right, Phil, this is your turn to take
My
over.
turn.
We have a fun game to end the episode. We recapped August. It was a busy month, but we are now here. So, Phil, tell us what to do.
So you'll need your phones for this. That'll be the easiest way for you guys to play. I am going to look over this
swap
side.
things because my phone is my webcam.
Oh, okay. You can play on your computer as well.
What's the pin game or the pin number?
Yeah, that way you don't have to swap anything.
Yeah, you can also play on the computer.
Yeah.
Let me start. Yeah, you can just go to kahoot.it. And there is your pin. Mute the music. Although we are going to be here another half hour because Eric is going to take forever to pick his character. So.
Oh my God.
That's not true. That's not true. I'll make it quick.
All right, we'll see. Eric, it's been a couple months since we played Kahoot. I can't remember if he won the last game or not. Who was the last?
I think it's been a minute.
Who was the last guest we played Kahoot with?
Damn it.
Nice. Just take it.
Nice.
Who looks most like a glizzy?
For the audience that is audio only, Burrito Boy, nice. For the audience that is audio only, this is the part where we recommend you go to our YouTube page and watch or page.
Suddenly Canadian.
Yeah, the YouTube page.
Go to our page.
Go to our page, and check that out. But I will do my best to narrate what is going on here. So, all right.
They don't have as many emojis as before. Where's the 18 pages?
It feels like they shortened it.
Have you played Kahoot, Kory? Are you thinking about Jeopardy?
I guess
Jeopardy had all the options.
I'm probably okay. I'm thinking because every time, I guess the 2 times I was on was Jeopardy.
Yeah. So, yeah. But all right, we have BJ Glizzy, Burrito Boy, and Weight Watcher. So let's do it here, folks. So there will be a couple of different types of questions here. There'll be your standard trivia. There'll be a pin the answer where you pin an answer on a picture. There'll be a type out a question. They'll be listing things in order, so you'll see when they come up. But let's get started. A Kahoot by the Wait For It podcast. Look at that presentation.
Nice.
What did I miss? August 2025. Let's see how many spelling errors I made in this because I.
Yeah, very excited.
All right, first question: which hip hop artist has the most Grammy wins? Is it Andre 3000, Eminem, Jay-Z, or Kendrick Lamar? Remember, you get.
No, I didn't like that answer.
Remember, you get more points the quicker you answer.
Oh,
wow! The one time I don't go with my guy. I went with Eminem.
Jay-Z. Yeah, Eminem I think was
That's
4th
crazy.
or 5th. Jay-Z.
Badr, you got that wrong?
Is first.
Yeah, the one time I decided
That's
not to go.
embarrassing. I did that question for you.
And I had a moment where I was like, you don't think that they maybe made this question for you? And then the Weight Watcher in me was like,
I don't think that's actually Badr. That's it's
damn. They didn't want to give you 80 points. Okay.
BJ Glizzy in the lead, 937 points. Burrito Boy, 883.
Rough
And
start.
Weight Watcher with 0. Let's get to the next question. True or false?
yeah.
Tiny Kong's actual name is Suko. True or false? Tiny Kong's actual name is Suko. All right.
Yeah, I did not know.
I went with blue because my favorite color.
like I said, like we were
Badr,
saying,
how are you playing?
and Eric, like we were saying earlier, big monkey use little monkey as a weapon.
Right.
Bat.
No, I remember. I saw the movie.
It's like nunchucks.
All right,
Damn,
man.
come
Burrito Boy moves into the lead. Weight Watcher gets up there, and BJ Glizzy moves to last. First to worst, Eric. Not great.
Yeah, that's tough. That was tough.
Next question. Type out the answer. What movie is this? You'll see a picture slowly reveal itself. What movie is this?
Oh.
Remember, more points you get for the faster you answer.
Oh, it depends on. I guess. Will you
Wow.
accept?
I
I
completely
put in multiple options as far
Okay,
as spelling.
cool. Oh yeah.
I completely went a different direction and I ran out of space to type.
I wrote -1.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to put at least Godzilla. Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
Buck.
-1.
The titular character.
I even gave people an option
something-
to put just type out
Son
negative
of a-
and the number 1,
you
and you
serious?
just put -1.
You allowed -1? Get out of it. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you got to put
rigged.
Godzilla. I was typing out Pirates of the Caribbean. And by the time it
yeah,
stopped-
Eric,
by the time
we're
by
on the
time it
same-
stopped me-
Damn.
Okay, cool. Because by
Yeah.
the time it stopped me in the middle of Caribbean, I then realized I had fucked up.
This
Yeah, no,
may
I
be
thought
the
that was
last.
Pirates.
This may be the last month I'm on Weight Watchers.
Burrito
That
Boy
decision
is on
right
a
there.
3-answer streak and it has a lead, 27-27. BJ Glizzy moves back into. If you just change out the DJ Glizzy, it's an awesome DJ name. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right,
Let's
next
make it
question.
happen.
Puzzle. Place
Oh,
these
boy.
Jacksonville malls in
Oh,
order of
God.
opening date. Of
What
course,
the
the 4 malls in Jacksonville being the Avenues, Orange Park, Regency Square, and St. John's Town Center. Try and place
Jeez,
them
Louis,
in
this is-
the order of opening
is
date.
Very hard.
Wild. We'll
Your
see.
mother's birthday. Why the fuck would I remember your
I will say,
mother's
puzzle is
birthday?
the one that people usually never get right. So I think we've had very few people do puzzle
Holy shit.
correctly.
I mean, this is a great question.
Hey,
Okay, I
2
was
people
wrong.
got it right.
Oh,
Look at
shit.
that.
That was crazy.
Let's fuck.
That was a
My-
crazy guess.
I just threw it up. I was like, yo,
My
man.
second and third were all.
Really quick.
Oh.
Just because I know that we got some Jax listeners, the correct answer: place these Jacksonville malls in order of opening date.
Yep.
Regency Square Mall.
Yep.
Orange Park Mall, the Avenues, and St. John's Town Center being the
The newest.
most newest open.
Yeah. Regency
Wow.
Square Mall opened in the 70s, which I did
My
not know.
heart like legit
Man.
skipped.
Yeah.
Wow,
It
I am.
shows.
Yeah, it definitely shows.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Rip.
remember to put Godzilla in his own movie title,
But
but
you
I
got the
apparently
mall.
know.
Got the malls right.
Yeah.
Hey,
You didn't get the hip hop question,
bring-
but you got the
Yeah,
mall
yeah, well, that's
question.
pretty- fucking ashamed.
Bring back malls. I say let's revitalize the mall. I miss it.
I'm gonna
do
go to
it.
the Avenues Mall this weekend in your honor.
There you go. Sounds good.
Hell yeah. You walk into that hot topic.
Apparently not
right.
enough though.
Burrito
To
Boy
get me back on the podium.
didn't
No.
get it right,
You're
so
coming up, Badr.
everybody's catching up a little bit. Let's get to the next question. Pin your answer. Eric,
Damn it.
which one of these characters from Ted Lasso is named Nate?
Why the fuck?
Oh my god.
Which one of these characters
Oh,
This is
oh,
a weird
is
oh,
named
drag.
Nate?
Oh, I know that. I know that one because I've
fuck,
watched
who
an
is
eighth of Ted Lasso on TikTok.
An eighth of it.
Wait, no, I think I messed up. That's not Nate.
If,
Oh, it's
okay.
Nate.
Oh,
Hell
okay, so
yeah!
you got it right.
Come on, baby.
All right.
Your boy
Let's
knows
go.
this.
There you go.
I think it was kind of weird that they didn't just have you move the pin instead of the whole image. That's a little weird.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
odd
that
choice.
was a weird mechanic.
I've never been to the other side. What do they do?
You gotta move the whole image to
Oh,
where
whole
the pin
image.
is. It's like
Why not just drop
Yeah,
the
when
pin?
you click it, the image shifts and
Oh.
centers back on the pin.
That's
Yeah.
strange. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
All right, well, two of you got it
yeah.
right.
We should
We got
stop
some
doing that.
movement at the top.
Whoa,
Come
Glizzy.
on now.
BJ Glizzy in the building
Ted Lasso.
on a 3
This is definitely a
answer
portion
streak.
of the show you got to watch visual.
Yes.
I mean, this
Yes.
is a
For
very
sure.
chaotic audio listen
Yes.
right here.
We warned him. We warned him.
Yeah.
Who's BJ Glizzy? DJ who?
All right, Slider. As of today, K-pop Demon Hunters has been viewed more than blank times. As of today, it is somewhere between
Holy
200 and 250 million. So how
This is
many
great.
times has
I-
K-pop Demon Hunters been viewed on
viewed?
Netflix as of today?
Um,
You'll get points for being close.
We're not quite.
Oh,
It hasn't beat.
Oh! Who said 237?
Badr
It's
fucking
236.
Milligan.
So you'll still get points. No, you'll get points. You
Damn.
get points for being close.
Your boys.
Look at
Your
that.
boy is throwing from the free
Crazy.
throw line.
It is now officially the most streamed film of all time, passing Red Notice.
Red Notice,
It
hell
did
yeah.
beat it out
I think
today.
I have to watch this show
so
now.
236 million.
You got to do it
There you go.
tonight.
Yeah, we'll come over right after this.
Boom, that one got me. Oh, damn.
Burrito Boy,
baby.
in last
Badr
place
coming up.
now.
Come
BJ
on.
Glizzy and Weight Watcher only separated by 20 points. This is the closest we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's
I am,
crazy.
I am
great.
currently being fueled by my hunger because I'm ready for dinner, and then also coming off that Jacksonville history. I cannot. Look, that was insanely impressive
crazy.
that I got that correct.
Yeah,
that was
I'm
a high.
kind of blown away. I missed the Jay-Z
All right,
question.
next question.
but
We
come
have a
on.
quiz. Who has the most AEW Women's
All right,
World
this might be what I
Championship
failed.
reigns?
boy,
Is it
Eric
Tony
has to get
Storm,
this right.
Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, or Hikaru Shida? Who is the most women AEW Women's World Championship reigns?
What the fuck?
I love how Kahoot will call you out too. It'll be like, "Hey, stupid."
Oh, it is
Ooh,
Tony
No
Storm.
one got
Okay.
that
I got that
right.
wrong.
Tony Storm has 4 reigns. Britt Baker, Eric, only has 1.
No points.
Hikaru
no
Shida
bias.
I
has
didn't feel
3.
good about. I didn't feel good about Britt Baker, but I
Yeah.
figured she won it at least twice. So
Yeah,
I was like,
only
maybe
one.
she's
She
tied.
just had a really
Yeah, okay.
long run, is what it was. She had over
Yeah,
200
I should have
days.
went with Tony.
Hikaru Shida is
I just like the
second.
alliteration. Britt Baker.
Britt
Anyways.
Baker.
Yeah. Britt Baker.
Britt Baker, a wrestler and actual
movement.
dentist in real
Yep.
life. So.
And now just
And
dentist.
now, yeah, don't know where she is. All right, no movement there on that one. Let's get to true or false. Shazam! Fury of the Gods has the lowest box office gross of the DCEU. True or false? I always forget that Rachel Zegler is in this.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, no, this.
Oh,
is
I got it right.
It is Wonder Woman 84.
Really?
As it should be.
That's right.
Yes, it should
Because
be.
it came out during COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people rented a theater to
Yeah,
watch
some
it.
people, maybe,
Wow.
maybe
Allegedly.
20
Yeah.
and Eric
All
and
20 of
15
We
of
don't
us.
know.
Yeah, we definitely did
Can
not
I say
do that.
on some short box history shit? I won't ever forget. We did a movie review of that, and I was certain all 4 of us, myself, Ed, Cesar, and Ashley, when we were all still recording together, that it was going to be unanimous. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
Boy, was I surprised that it was an even split. I
Oof.
mean, Ashley and
Crazy.
Cesar went to bat for this movie, and I think it was
Really?
the one time that I genuinely thought they might be on
Cesar's
some drugs.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. Eric and
Yeah.
I disagree quite a bit. We didn't disagree on this on Wonder
we
Woman
did
84.
not.
I think
No.
even Pedro Pascal won't take questions about that movie on the red carpet.
He literally won't go clean shaven because of that movie
Oh,
anymore.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I will not do
Yeah.
it.
He looks
He's
weird.
literally said it.
Anyways.
All right, everybody
let's
got
see
that
what we
right. And we still got a close one. BJ Glizzy still
Yeah.
at the top. Weight Watcher
humming
in
for
second,
ya.
and Burrito Boy in third. But just one question
worry,
can
guys.
change everything.
There's going to be a pin question in a moment, and I'm going to lose control.
Type your
so
answer.
it's okay.
Who claimed the top spot on Billboard's 2023
Wow.
list
Oh.
of the 50 greatest rappers of all time?
The top
Who was
spot?
number 1 on Billboard's 2023 list of 50 greatest rappers
2023?
of all time? They did this list a couple years ago. Who was number 1?
If I had to guess.
All right, got one answer. We got
Oh,
about
Billboard?
10
Oh, for
seconds
sure.
left. All right.
I'm just guessing.
Let's see. See anybody get it right? No.
Ding.
Nobody
Oh.
got it right. It was
Wait,
Jay-Z.
is it because the spelling was weird?
Did you put Jay-Z?
Yeah.
What did you put?
What was the I wrote Jay-Z. No. Oh, I put fucking Kendrick Lamar because I was like, what's Billboard 2023?
okay. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, can I just stick with the
God, Jay-Z got you twice, man.
right.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm over.
I gave you 2 chances.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I know. And I
Yeah.
swear, Phil, I was like, they're giving you this.
2 chances. I gave you
Okay.
this, and I gave you the Ted Lasso question.
I
so.
know.
All right,
Insane.
no movement there on the scoreboard. We got 5 questions left. Let's get another quiz in here. In Jaws, which character famously says you're going to need a bigger boat? Is it Quint, Brody,
No.
Hooper, or Vaughn?
Who the
says
fuck?
you're going to need a bigger boat?
trying to remember their
in
names.
Jaws?
Hooper sounds like somebody else.
Brody.
Nobody got it right there. It was Brody. In
I haven't
honor
seen that in a
of
minute.
Jaws. Let's go this weekend.
I've seen
I
the last
like-
Jaws movie I saw was 3.
I think we saw Jaws 3D, Eric, in at the Ritz. Remember, we were watching
At
Jaws.
the Ritz, yeah, we were watching it.
It
Yeah.
was like a Saturday
God.
night.
Yeah.
Angry Orchard
We'll,
in
we'll
hand.
wait for it, Lore.
Angry Orchard in hand, enjoying Jaws 3D. All right,
Crazy.
pin your answer. Which one of these
God
Fast
damn
and
it,
the
man.
Furious characters
Oh, I don't
is named
know.
Lucas?
Nobody knows, dude. I'm determined nobody fucking knows this.
Lucas.
Which one of these Fast and the Furious characters is named Lucas?
If I had to guess, I'm just gonna shoot my shot.
Lucas.
The best
That's all we
question.
can do.
The best
This one's
question.
for Phil.
Come on.
I hope someone gets this right.
Who are we waiting on? Come on.
Please be Lucas. Okay, I'm trying so hard.
No.
God
Who-
damn it,
nobody.
man.
No
No one
got
knows
it
who
right.
the hell Lucas is.
Should I? Does it tell me? Does it tell y'all who Lucas is? No, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should.
Wait,
God
is that
damn it,
not?
the other white guy.
Lucas is from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He is the protagonist.
Oh, nice.
Main character.
The other white
The
guy.
best
yeah.
movie in the series, by the way, Tokyo Drift.
I've gotten this right one time.
He did. Good
One
soundtrack, too.
fucking
He
time
did.
this year.
Yeah, yeah. All right, no movement again. Couple
Damn.
questions left.
That worked out well, though.
Puzzle.
Last three.
Place these characters in order of their
Oh,
MCU
debut.
debuts. The 4 characters listed are Shang-Chi, Namor, Kingo from the Eternals, and Yelena Belova. Place them in order of their
this is-
MCU
Ooh, man.
debuts.
Man, this is actually very kind of difficult.
You went fucking phase 4.
I did.
I was like, hell
Yeah,
yeah,
I did.
I got this.
I started
do
doing
not
earlier
know.
characters. I was like,
More
nope, too
should
easy.
appear.
I had written out like Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and I was like, nah.
Wait, oh my god, I'm
Kingo.
looking at the colors and it's fucking me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the colors are messing me up. Okay,
This
red
Other than Yelena,
and
the colors actually
yellow.
worked out pretty well.
and then blue.
So Shang-Chi, Namor.
Yeah, I feel.
Oh, one person got it right.
Badr fucking
There you
Milligan,
go.
host of the Short Box podcast, #1 comic book podcast. in the whole
Yelena,
world.
Shang-Chi,
I put a-
Kingo, and then Namor.
Who the hell is Yelena Belova?
Florence Pugh.
I'll go Florence Pugh.
Florence
Pew.
Oh,
She-
Black Puto?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, put some respect on her name.
yeah, you
Yeah,
absolutely should.
she's already way better than Scarlet.
she's
So
fucking- She is
Carrying
great.
the
Yeah.
MCU
she really
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Scarjo got demoted to Jurassic
Yeah,
World
I
Rebirth.
I talked myself
That
into the
movie
Eternals
was
being
really
before
bad.
Black Widow and Shang-Chi, and I knew better. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eternals almost got me.
Yeah.
Got me. But
Yeah.
All right,
come
we're
on
gonna
now.
have some movement here. Weight
Come
Watcher
on.
into the
Whoa!
lead. 2
can
questions
watch.
left.
You can watch
It's
me.
coming down to the
from the
wire,
bottom, y'all.
folks.
Inside.
The next one, we have a quiz. In Everything,
I'm
Everywhere,
scared.
All at Once, which object does Evelyn first use to verse jump in the IRS office? Does she
God
use
damn, that's a hell
a
of a
piece
question.
of chapstick, a paper clip, a butt plug, or a Bluetooth headset? What does she first use to verse jump in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once?
I was wrong too.
I
Oh,
knew-
that's right. I remember that
butt
We
now.
all, we all saw butt plug. What do you
It
mean?
was an award.
Yeah, but she doesn't use the
To
butt.
be clear.
She doesn't use the butt plug.
Well, we forgot.
All right, we're gonna watch K-pop Demon Hunters and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Jaws apparently.
Okay.
So,
And Jaws.
all right, one more question.
Oh
This
my
is for all the
God.
We can
marbles.
do it.
Really quick
All
for the
the
listening
marbles.
audience. Weight Watcher is in the lead with 4,916. BJ Glizzy with 4,252, and
Fuck
Burrito
that guy.
Boy with 3,693 in third place. Last question.
We don't like either.
Slider.
Oh, a
Per their
God.
website, the Shortbox podcast has how many published episodes? It is somewhere
Oh.
between 5 and 600. Per their website, the
where are
Shortbox
we
podcast
at?
has blank.
All right,
Eric, stop
I'm so
cheating!
tempted-
I'm not
forget,
looking. I
man.
already submitted my answer. I swear I'm not looking.
I
Oh
think
my
you
God.
removed the numbers too, so I don't because
did.
I was literally looking
I
at your
did.
I
episodes
found
earlier.
the answer on the website, so I don't think so.
Oh, okay. You did. Okay, I'm sitting here like 552.
It is
am I gonna get it?
552.
Oh, I'm too
Wow.
short.
I really hate how he's like incorrect. We believe in you. I apparently don't believe in myself.
I said
Damn.
558.
Oh, somebody did
so
get it right.
I was
Yeah.
so close.
Somebody did, or not
Yeah.
right, but like somebody got points for that.
I
You
cannot
should have.
believe. I swear to God, if you knocked me off the top spot,
Let's
Kory,
see.
this will be
All
so.
right.
How did-
we'll see.
How did
Getting
Badr-
your podcast.
Badr losing on this
Here's the
question
thing.
would be funny.
Here's the thing. I did not.
552.
I got it wrong. I said 500 because it was before Phil said the website. I'm like, well, what did I put on the website? I know that I'm on episode 470 technically this week. Anyways, wow. I
Crazy.
am embarrassed. Jay-Z and the short box is like the two things I know the most of, and apparently I don't.
You don't even
All right,
know
come
who
on,
you
come
are.
on, Phil. Show
All
us
right,
the
let's
results.
get-
All right,
I'm
no
clicking
more.
the wrong button.
Damn, I cannot.
I think
All
you
right.
still got it.
Third place,
All right.
Burrito Boy.
Still
Yeah.
me.
Second
All right.
place is BJ Glizzy, which means
Real close to the glizzy. Hey.
the leader
God.
of Short Box
He
Nation
got-
and the newest Weight Watcher is
He
the
got
winner.
every single, with the exception of Ted Lasso, he got every single question
that I curated for
aimed
him.
at him wrong.
Yeah.
And he still won. That's good.
Oh.
If that is not the most Badr fucking luck and thing ever. Of course, the layups, I fumbled. But Jacksonville Mall history, come on, baby. More, you can't get more Duval than
right.
that. Oh my God,
can't.
That's
Phil,
right.
really quick, man, I gotta give you a round of applause because that was one hell of a good game.
Oh,
like that,
hold
I
on,
mean,
man.
in terms of like the range. Oh yeah. Hold up the reward that I'm gonna confiscate. No, but seriously, the range of questions kept me on my toes. That was really good.
Thank
that was
you.
a good ass game. Not because
you.
I became one first place.
No,
That kind of
I
goes
didn't
into
win,
it.
otherwise it would have been shit. But because I won, it was.
Had I lost, I would have had different terms. No, that was a lot of fun.
But there you go, folks. What did I miss? August 2025. We did it. Thank you for joining us and for listening and or watching. Before we get out of here, want to give our guests the opportunity to plug anything that they are working on. Kory, I'll throw it to you first. What's going on with Twimby, and what else do you have going on for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, so stuff I have coming up should be as long as the schedule is down. I should actually have Vigo, Deathstroke Sound, whom you guys got to meet at the JPU, the camp. But I should have him on next month for a chat about System of a Down, the nu metal band from our childhood. I should have 1 to 2 horror episodes, depending on if Cinema Villains can get their shit together. I've got a couple of things coming up. Nothing like, not a whole lot of hard titles outside of System of a Down, but I'm really hoping to cover the amazing dub of Ghost Stories with Cinema Villains. If you've never heard of it, you will, boy. It is amazing. But yeah, I should have a couple things coming out. I'm hoping to hit 12 episodes this year. That might happen. Still covering Alien Earth, by the way. I should be recording on that tomorrow.
And then you're going to have me on to talk about Jurassic World Evolution 3. So I cannot wait for that episode.
Yeah. Might have to do that.
And we will see you very soon at Ocala Comic-Con. Most importantly,
Yeah.
Tony's. So honestly, don't really care what happens the rest of the weekend. Badr, what's going on with the Short Box, JPU, and anything else that you're working on before we get out of here?
Okay, because I know Phil and Eric are professionals. They're going to have links to the podcast and the show notes and all that good stuff. So what I'll say is that apparently I've released way more than 500 episodes. And yeah, look, when it comes to the Short Box, if you are a fan of comic books or comic book culture, or you just like to hear from creative individuals, writers, artists, editors, folks like that, check out the Short Box. All right, I do a lot of interviews. I've got a couple interviews with some very talented comic book writers and artists coming up. If you'll be at New York Comic Con this year, which takes place in October, I think it's October 9th through the 12th this year, I'll be doing a live podcast at New York Comic Con with some other amazing comic book podcasters as well. It'll be a live panel, a live podcast. We're gonna have a lot of fun. But in terms of like the Short Box feed, hey, I'm gonna continue cranking out some great interviews and spotlights on comic books, comic news, reviews, and interviews. That's been my thing lately. So the Short Box podcast is the best way to feel like you're at your local comic shop without ever leaving the house.
For an example of some of the topics they cover, in the most recent episode, Badr speaks with his guest for about 10 to 15 minutes on shipping.
You know, it's just throwing me off that Kory is talking about an episode I haven't technically. Are you talking about the Kyle Starks episode?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look, but that's what I'm saying is, I'm talking to these creatives who are putting in, are at the, putting in the hard work to become independent creators. So we talk about helpful things like how to ship Kickstarter campaigns, which was actually way more fascinating than it sounds. Trust me.
Yeah, and we have no room to talk either. We had a 5-minute conversation about fruitcake, I think, with Bay recently. So,
Hey, look,
listen,
man.
whatever comes up, comes up.
Exactly. People come from the personality, and sometimes it's talking about some bullshit, okay?
Yeah, like Badr mentioned, everything you need to know will be in the show notes of this episode. We appreciate you for checking us out. Maybe you're coming from Kory or Badr's community and you're checking us out for the first time, so make sure you click the Linktree link. You can follow us on social media, the most important ones being Instagram, TikTok, our growing Discord community, and Twitch, where we are streaming a lot. If you want to support the podcast, you can do a couple things. Head on over to YouTube, do the typical stuff, like, share, subscribe. Head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave a 5-star review for every podcast that you hear here today. It is the lifeblood of podcasting, and we very much appreciate the additional support. But if you find yourself wanting to get these episodes early and maybe even having a hand in the content that we put out and get your monthly BJ Glizzy, Eric will let you know how to do that before getting us out of here.
BJ Glizzy!
That was unsettling. Didn't like that.
You didn't like that? Okay, well, it's unfortunate. But if you did like what you saw here today, maybe you could consider joining our Patreon, where patrons of the show, Briar, T3 Kato, Vintage Macaroni, Kory from The World Is My Burrito, Nick Casbaro, the author of the Vidalarium series, and the right-hand man himself, Badr from the Short Box Podcast, are supporting us each and every month on that platform in exchange for behind the scenes and early access to episodes like this one. So definitely make that jump, support us there. But if you can't, stay where you're at, do the free stuff. All of that does wonders for shows like ours, and we really appreciate it. With that being said, my name is Mr. Eric Almighty. That's my co-host, Phil the Filipino. Badr and Kory, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please don't forget, we release new episodes for the podcast every Wednesday, and all you got to do is wait for it.
This is the Wait For It podcast.